All right. We got to get live in HD today, right? Okay. This is what we have. We have a debate, okay? KUSH versus the truth. KUSH is debating for Terence Crawford. Truth is debating for Earl Spence Jr. Who has the better resume at 147 pounds, the welterweight division? That is the question that is laid. A brief synopsis before I drop the link. What is going to happen is these guys are going to have an opening statement apiece. KUSH will go first because he issued the challenge. He will open. Truth will open. And then Truth and KUSH both will rebuttal. And then we will transition into the second leg or end round, however you choose to view it, so that the judges can ask questions for clarity. The judges are scheduled to be Cam the Baptist from Apostles, who volunteered his services yesterday. Blood, the OG boxer, should be here as well too. And Bruce Gas, the OG. Those were the judges that requested. Those are the judges that are allowed in on the panel to ask questions. I also will canvass the comment section for questions. In the second leg of this debate, the panel or the people in the chat get to pose questions for clarity on the debate as they decide via the comment section or just in general who they think performed well and who had the most convincing argument. All right. Then the last leg or the final round, as you all know, will be concluded. And what will happen is that these guys will make a closing statement. From here on out, I will keep a ranking system. These guys are going to be ranked. This is for a cash prize, and it is what it is. Cam the Baptist is here. I'm finna drop the link so these guys can start getting backstage, and we can go ahead and cook. Look, with me, there's no rush. There's no issue. I understand emergencies happen and things pop up. We are adjustable. Jedi, since you are in the chat, in case we have a no-show judge, can you please assist me in jumping in and becoming a judge? I will play host. I will play moderator. We're waiting on KUSH. KUSH has showed himself in the chat. He is ready. We're waiting on the truth. I see one of the judges, Cam. I've been politicking with Bruce Gas, but just in case Blood or Bruce Gas, there's a miscommunication or miscue or emergency, Jedi, can you serve as one of the judges if you can? And there's the link. Everybody else, don't touch the link. Share and distribute the video if you can, because this is going to be a hot debate. I will not be talking. I will not be running my mouth. Those guys know what the format is. They decided to do this on their own, and they have the freedom to do what it is they do. First, I'm going to introduce the first judge, which is Cam the Baptist. And he has the understanding that after they get done with the opening and the rebut of the opening, the judges get to have clarity and they get to ask questions if they do choose to. I will then also scour the chat and have the interaction with the chat and ask these guys what it is that they want to ask the two debaters. So with Cam, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Let's ask Cam and Bruce Gas, the OG. Thank y'all for joining us. Tell everybody what it is that you're looking for. We're opening up with Cam the Baptist. Go ahead, Cam. What are you looking for? How can they get your vote?
One love to you, Zone 6, man. One love to everybody in the chat, man. One love to everybody that's tuned in. One love to the playback game. All that. Man, just the way they can get my vote is let's keep it factual. Let's stick to the topic at hand. Um, what else? No arguing with the judges. You know what I mean? That can no talking and interrupting during each other's round. That could definitely have uh, 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 a negative score or a negative impact on your judging or scoring for that round. Um, yeah, man, keep it respectful. You know what I'm saying? Shit, let's have fun. You know what I mean? Let's cook. I'm anxious to hear some new angles and talking points from people on this subject because I've heard heard it all before. If you want to, you know what I'm saying, if you will. But yeah, I'm just anxious to see. You know what I mean? How these brothers, you know what I mean, do their thing, man. I'm anxious for the cook session.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Bruce Gas, the OG. How can they get your vote?
Okay, I appreciate you calling me up here to judge a debate. But I listened to you the other day, and you said something that really hit me well. You said you don't like debates, you like conversations. And then the next show you go right back to the fucking debate forum. But bro, I think both of these topics that both are winnable. Crawford is winnable. Spence is winnable. To me, it's in the presentation, how they keep their cool, how they don't argue with each other, how they present their facts in very articulately and very accurately. And I'm just looking to who makes the best presentation because there's plenty of facts out there. I'm sure we can all do fact checking. I hope these guys did their homework. And like I said, man, I'm gonna go with the cool debater, the guy who can put his point across without losing his cool.
Okay. For the record, Bruce, and for everybody out there, I am just going to do conversations. This debate was requested by the two debaters, and you guys were requested by the two debaters. This is all on KUSH the Great. I'm going to introduce him to tell you a little bit about himself and how he got here. This was organically done. This is not my doing, and this is the way I like it when the guys are taking the initiative. So, Bruce Gas, I am with you. You are correct, but these guys summit for this to happen. They feel comfortable with the debate here on this platform, but I'll let KUSH the Great explain himself and introduce himself as well. KUSH, go ahead. You here?
What's up, y'all? Y'all hear me? Do I sound like I'm popping or how I sound?
No,
Sound
you crispy.
All right, because I am on a different headset. I didn't want to use my computer. I don't want my son getting involved. But yeah, I did call for the debate. I heard Black Truth, sharing his point of view on the panel, and I just wanted to, you know, pick his mind and maybe change some things up, clear some things up. So I was like, let me get at this guy, because I think I could cook him, so we gonna see.
That's what it is, man. So that's how we got here. These guys agreed that you guys will be the judges. They selected their own judges. Um, hey, Jedi, if you want to hit the link and come in until Blood get here, we could go ahead and do that so we can get the judges in place, the moderators in place, one of the debaters in place. And hey, Kush, maybe we let's make sure that Truth is here, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because he's here. Jay Cotto, while Truth is speaking, can you come on here so we can get the debate started? And we may let him introduce himself. This is Truth. He's finna tell you how we got here, and he's finna go ahead and cook. Welcome, Truth.
Salute to the panel, to the judges, to everybody in the chat. Good morning to have a good spirited debate. We originally got here because me and Zone was just speaking on the topic in regards to AJ, which is wild how everything kind of always comes back to Bud and Spence. But nah, man, I'm excited, ready to kind of, just share knowledge, give information, hopefully change Kush's mind on a couple of things. And, hey, I'm open to being wrong, but it's just unfortunate that I'm not.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. And right now, let's reiterate the points. We're waiting on Blood Boxing to come in. If Blood Boxing doesn't come in, Jay Cotto said that he will serve as a judge. Everybody here on this panel is unbiased. Here is the Jedi. He will explain to you guys how you can broker and get his vote. And then we're going to kick off the debate, and we're going to go from there. Jay Cotto, what's up? Welcome to the show, man. Yeah, you kind of a little low. You're a little low.
All right, can you hear me now? Am I loud now?
You still kind of low. Sound like you kind of just a little muffled. You know. I know you subbing me. Okay, you sound clear. Go ahead, say that again. Say something.
All right, 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, you sound crispy. Tell the guys how they can get your vote today.
All right. As long as we keep it clean, we don't talk over each other or interrupt each other when it's time to, lay down whatever you're laying down, as well as not arguing with any of the judges whatsoever. Let's keep it clean. Of course, there's always room for jokes. You know what I mean? But let's just keep it professional, gentlemen.
All right. Without further ado, let's lay it down again. Truth was challenged. Kush the Great, you have to go first because you are the challenger. Lay down your opening argument. Truth, you will follow with your opening argument. You guys get to rebut the information in the opening argument. Once you guys yield the floor, then we will transition to these three wonderful, knowledgeable judges to get clarity. They will ask you questions about the information that you laid down. This is something new in YouTube. The judges get to interact and engage and get clarity on what you're talking about in your debate, so there's no misunderstanding about what you're laying down. And as a follow-up, in the closing round, you guys will lay your closing statement down to the best of your ability, in which, again, Kush, you are the challenger, so you will go first, and True Speak will follow behind that. And I will also, in the questioning round, I will scour the chat for questions that they may have. So without further ado, the floor is yours, Kush.
All right. So first of all, good morning, everybody. Join the panel, and
Hey, Kush.
I'm gonna dive into this shit
Kush, you
piece by piece.
Hey, Kush, you
Am I popping?
Yeah,
you starting to pop now. You breaking up.
Yeah, you.
Is it breaking up bad?
Yeah, you.
All right. Let me jump out and come right back. Let me see if it fixed the problem.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one. I want everybody clear and concise. I don't want anybody kind of at a disadvantage because of technology. He came in good and came in clear. I don't know what changed. So let's see. But yeah, this should be a good one. Let's see what Kush sound like now. Kush, mic check.
How I sound now?
You sound good.
All right. Okay. It may be my phone. It may just be my phone. But yeah, I'm gonna start my opening argument out by saying, both of these guys is great fighters, but since Crawford moved into the 147 division, he got 6 fights, 6 knockouts. For one, they both great fighters. but Earl Spence has not been able to stop anybody within the last 5 years. In fact, his last stoppage was a Carlos Ocampo, in which he hasn't beat anyone of notable mention. Um, I do get a man Ocampo props for moving up to the 154 division, but he hasn't been able to stop anyone or beat anyone of notable mention. I scoured his resume and couldn't find a single name. Um, both fighters have taken 3 O's in the division. Um, Earl Spence, him taking the O's of Emmanuel Larte, Mikey Garcia, and the other one was Carlos Ocampo. Crawford's 3 O's that he took being against Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, and I believe the other one was, who was this other O he took? They both taken 3 O's in the division. Jeff Horn, Mean Machine. That's the other guy. So, in that perspective, I say that both of these guys have taken a fighter's heart and given them their first taste in defeat. But I believe that Crawford has actually fought the better competition in his tenure and stopped them all, which Earl Spence has not been able to do. Yes, that's going to be my closing argument for my introduction. I don't need to say any more.
All right, Truth, he yields. It's on you, Truth.
All right. Once again, salute to everybody. But let's get into it. Errol Spence has the better resume at 147. He has the more champions, of course, obviously, with him being the 3-belt unified champion. He's also faced the tougher circumstances with having to go get a belt in a foreign land that one of the competitors actually lost to, and that being Inshawn Porter and Kell Brook. We also bring up he has a pound-for-pound fighter on his resume in Mikey Garcia. And a fighter that actually already beat Terence Crawford. And now, granted, it was in the amateurs, but in your Dennis Ugas. We will see as we come through this resume how EJ is the clear and ahead better resume, because most of the best wins on Crawford's resume were Errol Spence. I'm going to say Errol Spence, quote unquote, leftovers. Just simply because Errol beat them at their biggest and baddest, and then Bud came in and swept behind them. Now, if you want to say, oh, he did this in a better performance or whatever, there's still suspect things around that performance that at least, kind of takes the light off of it. But still, as far as resume, like I said, the more champions, the more belt holders, actually, people like that have actually held a belt in any division, whereas Crawford's 147 resume has 2 fighters who have never held a belt ever. And so that's kind of as far as an opening statement goes. We'll kind of get more into it with the rebuttal round.
All right, KUSH, it's on you for your rebuttal.
Okay, so points taken to my boy Hard Truth, but we got to dive deeper into these wins that Earl Spence had to really pick apart this level of competition that Black Truth is referring to. Let's start with the champions. Kell Brook. Kell Brook's best wins were Sean Porter and Amir Khan. Kell Brook, in his tenure at 147, which was most of his career, he fought guys such as David Kirk, who had a record of 11, 75, and 3. He fought a Ernie Smith with a record of 13, 142, and 5 3 times. He fought a Peter Buckley with a record of 32, 256, and 12. These are the level of competition that he refers to. He fought a Lamont Peterson, who I hear that people on their last leg go to, whose best win was David Avanesian. But he lost to Sergey Lipinets, a 140-pounder. He lost to Danny Garcia and Lucas Matisse. Danny Garcia was a fighter who best win was Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Danny Garcia never beat anybody of notable mention outside of Robert the Ghost Guerrero and Samuel Vargas, who are not champions. That's how he acquired his WBC vacant title. And these guys never beat anybody of notable mention. Let's move on to a Sean Porter. Sean Porter's best wins were Danny Garcia and Yordenis Ugas in a controversial victory in which I believe he lost. But, you know, we can't go off of semantics. But he also lost to Kell Brook, and who would be the determining factor if Spence were to fight him? He lost to Keith Thurman. Then I believe that Black Truth would have a valid argument here if he had beat Keith Thurman, which he never fought. I don't want to give up all my jewels, so I'm gonna close my argument there in saying that a lot of wins against these so-called champions that Earl Spence was able to beat
Hey,
were
Kush,
shallow victories.
Kush, briefly, just real quick, just so you can keep cooking. Your mic is popping again. I'll let you close out and do what you need to do for that as we continue with the debate. But you are popping, and I want people to be able to hear you clearly because it's taken away from your arguments in your debate.
Yeah, I think it's a little problem with my phone. When I finish right now, I drop out and come back. Um, yes, so Earl Spence's champions that he was able to beat was not even Danny Garcia because he wasn't a champion at the time, was Sean Porter and Kell Brook, in which the fight that put Earl Spence in a position to win to beat Kell Brook was a Leonard Bundu who never beat anybody of notable mention. And he also lost to Keith Thurman. So, I'm going to close my argument there, my second argument. I'll come right back, y'all.
All right, so you Black Truth, go ahead.
I was gonna say, am I waiting for him to come back, or I just go ahead and
No, he concluded. You go ahead. You can rebuttal everything you heard. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna start from the rebuttal from his opening statement till obviously the rebuttal round. He mentioned saying that Spence hasn't beat anyone of mention, but yet all of, again, 3-belt unified champion in the welterweight division. And some of the names he mentioned, he kind of defeats his own argument because some of the names he mentioned are Terence Crawford's best wins. So if Spence didn't beat them and beat anybody of mention when they had a belt, when they was at the height of their powers, we can then infer that same thing to Bud because those are his best wins at the welterweight division as well. Moving on, he said Spence hasn't stopped anyone, but I didn't see. I thought he stopped Yordenis Ugas in the 10th round. Maybe that was his last fight. They both are coming off of we're going to get to David Evanesian, but they're both coming off of stoppage victories heading into the fight against each other. One in less controversial fashion than the David Evanesian fight, but we'll save that for the later. Okay, so we're going to Kell Brook, and when he's trying to break down these resumes at 147, when top competition fight, there's always going to be a winner and a loser. Sean Porter losing to Keith Thurman is again, that's the top fighting the top. These are top welterweights fighting each other. That's what people does, and got to go. So when Sean Porter fought Keith Thurman, that's no damper on his resume. Again, we would argue, everybody would say that Sean Porter has the best resume at 147. Yeah, he may have got to the top and, kind of lost to some of the people. He also beat them as well. He also was a belt holder, a WBC belt holder when ERROL fought him. We go back to Kell Brook. Kell Brook was ducked by Floyd Mayweather because once Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, he had the chance for undisputed with Kell Brook, and Floyd opted not to. Kell Brook was the boogeyman of the division. Not even Keith Thurman wanted to fight Kell Brook simply because he was that dude. The IBF was pretty much running rampant. All roads led through Kell Brook in the welterweight division until ERROL went to Sheffield, England, and stopped them. And that's undeniable. Like I mentioned, belt holders. Except for Carlos Ocampo, everyone on Errol Spence's resume has had some belt, a belt in any division, a super world championship caliber fighters. They are of that ilk, of that metal. Again, when we go back to Bud's resume, he has 2 fighters that have never won a belt in anything. No division, no whatever. You can name. I know we're just limiting to 147, but just their total boxing career, they have not won a belt or done anything, but just been a game fighter. If we want to go to Aegis, yes, Aegis didn't have a loss when Bud took him, but he did have a draw. So he's already shown him came up seemingly short. And mind you, Bud's last victory was Aegis's leftovers. Not only Aegis's, but Lamont Peterson's. He's fighting people that he's already knocked out and KO'd and put him back on his resume. People that are beneath his caliber, beneath his championship pedigree, he's going back and sweeping up behind his own leftovers. So we can't ignore the fact that he has a person, and arguably, Aegis Kavalauskas stopped David Ebenesian sooner than Bud did. You can go back and check the tape. Now, it both was in the 6th round technically, but if you want to look at the actual time, Aegis Green Bean stopped him sooner. And again, if we want to go into breaking down the actual victory, there was a bit of controversy with the David Ebenesian fight. It's not like it was all clean cut and, hey, man, this was a great win. I saw a glove come loose. I seen a thumb part missing and the padding gone out, tearing out of the glove. And then when the ref brought attention to it, that's when he knocked him out. Again, if we want to start nitpicking and doing all this stuff between the resumes versus we can go down to Jose Benavidez, who was on one leg and was hanging in there with Terrence Bud Crawford until the 12th round where, he just wore down. But again, he was fighting on one leg after being shot. Now, I know the rebuttal might come into, well, what does that have to do with Bud? But I'm saying, if we're going to start nitpicking the resume about, they fought this and everything, then the circumstances have to come to light as well. We go to the Kell Brook fight. Kell Brook was winning the fight until the 4th round where, Bud got the stoppage. His eye was, if you go back and look at the fight, his eye was puffing up because of Kell Brook's jab. We go to the Sean Porter fight. There are at least concerning aspects or circumstances with the Sean Porter fight that makes that victory not as lived up as the Errol Spence victory, simply because you have the own fighter admitting they didn't train the same like they trained for Errol. You have the fighter's trainer saying he didn't come into training camp with it. So again, this isn't to poo-poo one and over the other, but when we're talking about great fighters, we're going to split hairs. It's always going to be the little things, the minutia, the details. And the details these are the things that happened with Bud's resume that make it little, it's the name, but is it the same? To me, no. But when we go back to, like I said, with Errol Spence's resume, your Dennis Ugas beat Bud in the amateurs. Bud had all this smoke for all this and everything. And even your Dennis Ugas after the Spence fight was still like, hey, what's up? And what did Bud do? He did everything. He tried to call him all these type of names and belittle the man other than, let's get in the ring. Because he know what your Dennis Ugas did to him. I know it's the amateurs and all within the professional level. But clearly you can tell by Terence's energy that he didn't want no smoke with your Dennis Ugas. He didn't even want smoke with Errol. That's why he took the Ebenezer fight. But we'll come through that a little bit more. We'll stop right there as far as that. We'll field some of the questions and get to another rebuttal. But that's my time.
Okay, all right. That concludes that first round. Now it's open up for you guys to dialogue with each other. All right, so this is what we know to be the true debate right here. This is the second round. Mute yourself real quick, Kush. Okay, you guys get to politic with each other now. You get to talk. You get to conversate. At the end of this, just be advised the judges are going to be able to ask you questions specifically at the close of this. So you guys got the open floor. Cook, do your thing, and challenge each other how you like.
I'm still first, right?
Absolutely. You the challenger.
Okay. So first, I want to respond to the nitpicking. Um, we can't go off of these fighters and who they lost to prior and say this is this guy's leftovers. We don't say that Thomas Hearns was Sugar Ray Leonard's leftovers when he fought a Hagler. We don't say that.
Real quick, we got a suggestion. Somebody saying, man, you got to turn your Bluetooth off because you're still popping. They saying that's what we call static. You got to check your technology because it's causing you to pop.
All right, let me do my best. Hold on.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, you sound way better.
This is better? Okay, we'll do it like this. Yeah, but like I was saying, we can't say that these guys are these dudes leftovers.
Speak up a little bit. You sound kind of low.
I'm trying my best. You guys hear me better?
You perfect right there. You perfect.
Am I good?
Yes,
okay.
You perfect.
Because they fought these guys' opponents prior. No, it's either they fought these guys or they did not. Now, in the regards to Sean Porter fighting Keith Thurman, I don't consider that a knock on the man's resume that he lost to Keith Thurman, but he fought Keith Thurman, in which Errol Spence did not. Terence Crawford beat Sean Porter. Terence Crawford beat Kell Brook by knockout. Kell Brook was up in the Errol Spence fight for 6 rounds before Errol Spence went ahead and dismounted the man's eye, but Kell Brook also went into that fight, if we want to nitpick, with one eye. Terence Crawford, in that Terence Crawford fight, he said he was in the best shape of his life. Sean Porter, when he went into that Terence Crawford fight, he said that he was in the best shape of his life. But his father also said prior to the fight that if you do not do these things that I'm telling you to do, you are not going to be successful. Him and his father in that stoppage were not on the same accord. And that's why Sean Porter had that look on his face of embarrassment when his dad threw in the towel. Errol Spence did not stop Yordenis Ugas. The doctor stopped Yordenis Ugas. The ref stopped Yordenis Ugas. He wanted to continue fighting. That's not a stoppage. The ref stopped it. Yordenis Ugas was still willing to fight. Sean Porter was still willing to fight. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, these guys' 2 best wins between Kell Brook and Sean Porter, they both share. But Terence Crawford has moved up to the division and stopped everyone, which Errol Spence has not been able to do. Whether you want to call it a controversial victory or not, Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, and he was a champion, which Mikey Garcia was not. Kell Brook, Errol Spence considers that man one of his best wins. And I'll close my argument there. We can have a dialogue.
Okay, so you kind of contradicted yourself with the leftovers because you bringing up who these people lost to, especially Sean Porter and Yordenis Ugas, but in order to kind of draw some type of negative parallel with them losing to a person before, but then you're going to come back and say that that's not leftovers. And again, when we talk about if you're going to use fighter statements, use them correctly. As far as with Sean Porter saying that he did not train the same way he did for Errol Spence. These are direct fighter statements. His own trainer said he didn't put in the time. Now, if you want to say that's a disconnect with the stoppage and he wanted to, but the same thing you just poo-pooed Yordenis Ugas went on, he wanted to continue. Sean Porter wanted to continue as well. So you can't try to hold up this standard and, okay, Terence Bud Crawford didn't stop Sean Porter. His daddy did. You see how when we try to nitpick and we try to point out little things, we end up making silly claims. There was a stoppage. He stopped Porter.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother, but where did I contradict myself?
I said leftovers when you said you brought up the who they lost to, but prior to in the first round with your opening statement with Sean Porter. You said
what I'm saying is that they fought these guys and they lost to them.
Right,
but
that's a contradiction because now you're talking about. I never said anything about leftovers, but you're talking about that's a contradiction.
How so?
And then another contradiction was when he was talking about Yordenis Ugas. He wanted to continue. Sean Porter wanted to continue as well, but didn't stop Porter. And you said the doctor stopped Yordenis Ugas. So you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna say this, then that. So you that's a contradiction right there. And with Kell Brook, again, you want to talk about he's coming off of one eye, even though he was cleared by the doctors, had a healthy training camp, but yet somehow years later, after 2 orbital surgeries, he was.
You're gonna have to repeat that. You fell off, brother.
Yeah, I thought that was my mic
We
for a
can't
second. You
contradict
cut out
because
for a
then.
second.
Sir,
You cut out for a second.
you cut off. You're gonna have to repeat
Oh,
what
okay,
you
okay,
said.
yeah.
All right.
Which part did I cut off on?
You cut off about maybe 10 seconds behind.
Okay, so you can't contradict if you're going to try to poo-poo the Kell Brook win again, and he's coming off one eye. Then so how does he come off of 2 broken eyes and is older in age and spent the last 3 years at 154? How is that then supposed to be a highlight win for Bud? So again, you're trying to make a standard for one that you not carrying on to the other, because when Errol beat him, it was in his backyard and for a world title, versus with Bud, it was a voluntary defense, and they both coming down off a weight division. So you can't tell me, even though with he went up for Triple G, he went all the way up, I believe it was to 160. But again, that was a one-off. He was spending 3 years at 154 and then came back down and had a terrible weight cut. I mean, again, fighters are going to say what they want to sell the fight and do all this other
Did
stuff.
Kell
You
Brook
can't
say that?
huh?
I'm asking, did Kell Brook say that he had a terrible weight cut, or did he say that he was in the best shape of his life?
If you want to go by fighter statements, he did say he was in the best shape of his life. But you can
you're
tell
going by
at
the
the
trainer
weigh
statement
in
and
how
saying
his
that Sean
cheeks
Porter
were sunken,
was
how his
not ready.
cheekbones were protruding, that he had a terrible weight cut.
Terrence
I mean, these
Crawford's
are just things.
cheekbones were protruding as well. But
You
you're
can
going
go
with the
go
fighter
back to
statement
that press
on one
conference,
hand, and then you're going with the trainer statement in one hand. Which one is it?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You're saying that based on what Sean Porter's father said about him not training and preparing for the fight, instead of listening to what Sean Porter said, you're going with that. But when Kell Brook says he's in the best shape of his life, then we don't believe Kell Brook.
That's not. I didn't say we didn't believe Kell Brook. I'm not in the fighter's body. I'm telling you what I saw.
You
If you
said
want to
that you
talk about
believe Kenny Porter over Sean Porter. That's what I'm
the
saying.
the trainer and the fighter both said that they didn't train.
Sean
Again,
Porter never said. Sean
you
Porter,
can
what
go
Sean Porter in fact
go back.
said.
He literally just did
In
an
fact, what Sean
interview
Porter
where he
said,
said he did not
iterated.
do the things this daddy asked him to during training. He was like, nah, I think
Sean
I got
Porter
it.
said and reiterated on his show the other day, what he said was that I trained harder than I ever trained, but I don't feel that I need to do these things because I'm at a certain place in my career where I understand what I need to do to get prepared for a fight. Is that not what he said?
So you're again with you saying that then proves my point. If he's not listening to the trainer and doing what was done before, he was like, "Nah, I'm at a certain level. I got it this time." And we clearly saw what happened. So that proves my point.
Okay, well, I will refute that in saying, was it not believed that Sean Porter was questionably winning the fight before he got stopped?
It was definitely a close fight.
Even Crawford was told by the corner that he was losing the fight before he stopped Sean Porter, correct?
Correct.
And you say that in the Kell Brook fight, Terence Crawford was losing the fight before he stopped Kell Brook, right?
Correct.
So would that lead you to believe that those guys weren't game fighters?
What do you mean as far as game fighters? Nope.
I
feel like you're
Kell
trying to
Brook
refute back. You're trying to refute back
fight
saying
the way that he was up in the Spence fight before he got stopped. So how were they not game prepared fighters?
As far as them getting in the ring with the fighter statements, you can say that, but again, when you have them coming out afterwards and saying things contradictory to your point, that doesn't.
I'm talking about
your own point is being contradicted by the trainer and by the fighter. At least on the Sean Porter point.
Earlier, you said that Kell Brook busted Bud's eye up in the fight. He was winning the fight.
Correct.
That's what you said.
Correct.
Now you're saying that Kell Brook was all battered up. He had 2 broken eyes, and he wasn't the same fighter because he moved down in weight and he was drained. They
I
both looked
didn't.
drained at the weigh-in to me. Terrence Crawford
Okay,
ran for the bottle just like Kell Brook.
right. But
So
so you're gonna
I'm not.
you're not gonna answer how he spent 3 years at 154
No,
prior to that
I
fight.
actually agree with you that Kell Brook wasn't the same fighter, but I don't agree with you that he wasn't the same fighter after the Errol Spence fight. He just wasn't the same fighter since he fought Triple G. So, but the name is still on both of their resume, is what I'm
Right,
trying to
but
say.
again, so we agree the name is still on the both of the resumes. Was a belt
Right.
on the
So
line
they
versus
both
Errol?
share that win, correct?
You said what?
So they both share that win. I think we would agree on that.
They,
And
I
I would
mean,
say the same
that's a
thing.
factual statement. We have to.
Yes, yes. And I would say the same thing in reference to Sean Porter. Sean Porter was still a game fighter. But what Sean Porter said on his podcast 8 months ago was that in the Terrence Crawford fight, he felt he was doing well until those punches started coming and he just couldn't get out of the way of them. He said that he felt confused after the Terrence Crawford fight. He said after the Errol Spence fight, he didn't feel that Errol Spence took something away from him. He said that he still felt energetic. He felt hurt that he was knocked down. It felt like it was going to come down to a knockdown. Whoever could get the knockdown, and he got dropped. But he was
Right.
still the same fighter.
Again, if you want to talk about the recent interview that Sean Porter did, that is directly contradictory, as well as the interviews Kenny Porter, his father / trainer. Believe it or not, trainers actually know you better than the actual fighter, because they spent, especially in Kenny Porter's situation, his whole life training him. So when he says, nah, he didn't have it, he didn't do what he needed to do in training, he did that, I'm going to take that to the bank, one, as his trainer, two, as his father.
Kenny Porter, what he said before that fight was that if you do not do the things that I'm telling you to do, you are not going to be successful. Sean Porter said that Kenny Porter, his father, looked at Terrence Crawford as if he was the big bad wolf. So he wanted Sean Porter to do a lot of things that Sean Porter, as the fighter, felt weren't necessary to get prepared for the fight, which when he got in the ring, he seemed prepared for the fight. He just couldn't overcome the things that happened in the ring. He couldn't make the necessary adjustments in order to stay with Terrence Crawford. He actually, in the Errol Spence fight, he took the fight to Errol Spence for the majority of the fight and questionably won the fight. There
Well,
was no question in the Terrence Crawford fight.
completely accurate, because Errol Spence already said that they was going to fight in that phone booth. He purposely
Errol
made his
Spence
game
also
plan.
said before that fight that he was going to stop Sean Porter, in which he did not do.
He didn't. He got the victory, but he did not stop. That is correct. However, you have Kenny Porter, again, Sean Porter's daddy, saying that Errol could have made the fight 10 times easier. But since he purposed that he was going to fight that particular way, he was going to fight in the style of Sean Porter, that's why he did that. But you have the own daddy saying,
he also said he was going to stop him. So if he can make the
so
fight
what?
easier,
So you're not going to
and
address
outbox him,
Kenny
why didn't
Porter
he do
saying
that?
that Errol could have beat Sean Porter way easier than he did?
Then why didn't he do that?
Because Errol said he was going to fight that particular way. If a man says it and he does it, I'm not going to, yeah, I can disagree with how he did it, but he said he was going to do it and he did it that way. And he won. Again, we're talking about the own trainer. His father said that he could have beat Sean Porter way easier than he did. He just chose to do that. So you have, again, the trainer, the daddy in awe of Errol, versus when it came to Bud, it was like, yeah, my son didn't train. He said that in the ring. When they stopped the fight and had the interview, he said he didn't train. He didn't do what we needed him to do and stuff. So I just was like, yeah, I'm going to stop this fight. That's in the ring post-fight. You can't just wave that away.
All right, cool. Listen, this is what we're going to do. He just dropped off. We'll let him come back in and give him a second. But let's make sure we clear on this. Blood Boxing will start to eventually ask some questions. So will Bruce Gass if they have any, and so will Cam. Jay Cotto will serve as a person that represents the chat, and he will also get to ask questions. But Blood, Cam, and Bruce Gass will render the verdict for this debate. Jay Cotto will serve as the chat ambassador, and he will ask some questions as well too, because I know he have some. If you want to go ahead and wrap up your primary point, you can, Truth, and give him a chance to get back in, and then we'll allow the judges to go ahead and spin the block and do what it is that they do. Go ahead, you got the floor, Truth.
All right. Yeah, as mentioned, as far as the resume, ERROL has the better resume, the better wins. If we're not going to make any excuses as far as for the circumstances that they happen, it's clear and fine. Just simply put the 3-belt unified champion. He has more champions on his resume. He has more people that have belts ever in their boxing career on his resume, versus he, as I already mentioned, he has 2 fighters, Jose Benavidez and Green Beans, that have never had a belt. And then when you talk about belts at the specific welterweight division, you have Jeff Horn, who obviously, controversially, hey, if a win is a win, a win is a win. However, his still 2 best victories are slightly lesser than Sean Porter and Kell Brook with Errol Spence, when actual stakes was on the line versus a voluntary defense. And I'll rest my case.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, Kush. Go ahead. He cooking on
get
you.
on my PC because my phone died. It dies so quickly when I'm on it.
All right, go ahead, man. Your technology will influence the debate. Go ahead and cook. And the judges are finna get ready to start asking questions. Those judges are the judges that you selected. It's going to be Blood Boxing, Cam the Baptist, and it is going to be Bruce Gas. And Jay Cotto will serve as the chat ambassador to ask questions as well. And anybody in the chat, if you have questions for these 2 debaters, I will read them as well too. You can continue the dialogue. Go ahead, Kush the Great. Do what you got.
I'm gonna close my argument in saying that both of these guys share their 2 best wins, being in Kell Brook and Sean Porter, in spite of when they fought them. We don't look back in the past on guys' resumes and say, oh, well, this guy fought Thomas Hearns at this time, or he fought Hagler at this time, so we're going to diminish the man's victory because of when they fought them or the conditions of the fighter. No, it's either they have the name on the resume or they do not. And that's how I'm going to conclude my discussion.
All right, so we'll start with Blood Boxing, the OG of the community, man. What kind of questions you got for these guys based on the debate that they presented to you so far?
As far as questions, okay, so the whole thing with Sean Porter, okay, hold on, let me ask you something, Zone. Do I make my points of the debate, or am I just here to ask a question right now?
You can make a point and ask questions because they're going to close after this. They said what they need to say, and you can kind of question them and kind of pick their brains to get clarity on what it is that they're trying to speak on, if you have any. And while you wait, then what we'll do is we'll move to Cam, because I know Cam is interested in this subject. He gonna have a question.
But let me let's let Cam do it, and then I'll come back to me.
Okay, no problem. We take our time. Go ahead, Cam. What questions you got, if any, for the 2 debaters?
So I have the question that I have for the debaters, and it's really kind of simple. If a fighter petitions a sanctioning body because he is still injured or still healing from an injury, is that considered a better quality win than, by both debaters' statements, going back to the fighter's own words, being in the best shape of your life? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's a lot of what we were discussing in the last round.
Yeah, so in that particular instance, there's no poo-poo. Hey, you get in the ring, you get in the ring. It's just like, as I was stating, we're comparing 2 great fighters, so we're going to split hairs. And in doing that, the small details come out as far as, okay, what are the circumstances as far as them being the difference.
Okay. Okay, I got that. Now, also too, I did hear uh, I did hear a lot of I think it was you that stated uh, that we're going by the fighter's own statements, but then you turned and utilized the trainer statements. So which are we using? Are we using the fighter's own words, or are we
Well,
going by the
as
corner?
far they're being a part of the fighters camp, so that's still attached, and especially in this particular Sean Porter, with that being his father as well. I believe that's obviously coalesced.
Okay, okay. Uh, and then my last question. Um, okay, so okay, so are we saying that Kell Brook versus Errol Spence with the IBF belt on the line was bigger than Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook with the WBO on the line?
Yes, as far as circumstances, I believe so because Sean Porter originally lost, and then Errol had to go to Sheffield. Versus, I mean, this happened in Terrence. This happened here in the States and in the bubble, so to speak. So the stakes were higher for Errol Spence than they
So you
were
don't feel
for.
as though the stakes are higher because it's a title fight, period? The belt's on the line? Because the belt was on the line in both instances.
Correct, but we have to bring proper context. Again, the belt was on the line in Kell Brook's house versus this was when him and Bud fought. It was during the kind of pandemic, so it was in the kind of secure, sanitized environment. There was no kind of rival crowd or anything, nothing to go up against, so to speak, other than the fighter in the ring.
Okay. I mean, I'm just because that seems a little, it seems kind of one sided, in that I know we're strictly talking about a fighter fighting, both fighters' resumes at 147, but I'm just like, this isn't the first time one fighter has gone into another fighter's backyard with a title on the line. Both fighters have initially done that.
Only one has at 47.
Okay, that's okay. So we just strictly stick. Okay, this okay. Gotcha. Okay, okay.
Can I point out one thing, Cam? I just
Hmm.
want to say this, just to dismantle this. If we can't use a fighter going into another fighter's backyard at a different weight division, because we're only speaking about 147, then we can't talk about a fighter's win in the amateurs. That Ugas stuff, that's in the dirt. Because
I
their
was
sides
I
of the
was gonna
street,
go
right?
to that. Yeah, I was gonna go to that. I was saving that for my judgment call. But I just wanted to ask. Okay, so now that brings me to another question for both contestants here. Does the amateurs matter when it comes to the professional level? And if so, why?
Definitely not in this debate here because we're only debating 147.
Okay, okay.
Well, I would say just because they did fight and they are currently at 147, and your Dennis Ugas was a belt holder at 147. It's not like they were in two different divisions, and then like I didn't bring up Porter fighting Usyk. Like but again, it's relevant just because they are in the same division, and it is a name that Errol stopped and beat, and that him and Bud actually had an interaction. We do the same when we talk about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, how they did all these things in the amateurs. It's just a point of reference.
Okay.
I don't
Uh,
think it matters personally because they're sides of the street.
I'm just well, when I look at it and I think about it, I feel like the amateurs wouldn't matter when it comes to the pros, because if that were the case, there are guys that beat other guys in the amateurs that we feel like wouldn't have a chance facing those same fighters today in the pros. For example, Sean Porter beat Alexander Usyk in the amateurs. Are we saying that Sean Porter would beat Alexander Usyk today.
That's not an apt comparison because they're not in the same division.
They fought each other in the amateurs, and
they
I'm
did, but they're
saying,
not currently in the same weight
but
division.
now
It's only
on
if
the
it's
same,
in division. If
but
they're
now
in
on the same
division,
statement, on the same side of that, Ugas has been at the same division as Terence Crawford. As a matter of fact, Ugas and Crawford both were at 140 together. When Ugas racked up his first 3 losses, Terence was cleaning out the division, going undisputed. So this same guy that you're talking about beat Terence in the amateurs, failed to go undefeated in the same division at the same time as Terence Crawford, while Terence
going
cleaned out the
undefeated.
division and became undisputed.
So is it about going undefeated?
Well, when you talk about how highly touted of a fighter that your Dennis Ugas is, and then you attempt to compare the fact that he beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs, but you didn't talk about the fact that your Dennis Ugas was in fact ranked in the WBO rankings and failed to. Never mind. Okay, because I'm just a little thrown here because it's like we're picking and choosing what we want to pick and choose to fit our narrative to argue our statement here, and it's like, well, if you're gonna use it for one, you got to use it for both sides too, because when I hear you talk about the 2 ideal wins that both fighters had, the 2 fighters that they share in common. The argument on both sides is they both won, but one finished the other in a better fashion, and one went the distance with one and then finished the other in the 11. So what stands out to me the most is because, like you said, we're splitting hairs, but you said we're going by the fighter's statement. The fighter themselves has come out and stated he's in the best shape of his life. It's the best shape he's been in his career. Whereas on the flip side, we all on this panel know that when Kell Brook fought Errol Spence Jr., he was coming off of an orbital injury from fighting Triple G prior. He was supposed to be out for at least a year. However, he was back fighting Errol within 9 months. He had gone on record and stated that he was not fully healed, and in fact petitioned the IBF for a medical extension so that he could fully heal and then get a full training camp. The IBF, in fact, denied him and made him fight anyway. So he was not fully healed in the Spence fight.
No disrespect, but you're making arguments that the opponent didn't. I thought you was a judge. So like with this, it's like you're trying to double back and clear up some of the ground, but I thought you just was clear in your decision. But it seems like you're trying to, like I'm almost debating you.
Pause right there for a second. Pause right there for a second. No. What Cam is doing, he's getting clarity, and I'm monitoring him. Trust me, it's a cap for the judges. I'm monitoring him, and we finna close him at his limit. I'm not gonna let him. He's not gonna do that. So it's a check and balance. We're gonna let Cam finish this one, and you're explaining yourself. It may be that, let's listen. He's not necessarily trying to contest you. He just wants clarity. And that may actually help you. So he's finna close this last question out, and then we finna move on to Bruce Gas and see what questions he got. Go ahead, Cam. Finish that off.
Yes,
Truth,
sir.
you're doing it. Go ahead. Okay, so he's good.
My bad.
Oh no, you
so
good.
I just wanted to know how are we judging that win when it's the same? I mean, it's the same name on the resume, and at both times that both fighters fought this same guy, he was still one of the top welterweights at the time. Even regardless of us saying him moving up a division, down a division, what have you, when you thought about top welterweights at the time, his name still came up in the conversation.
Might I point out as well, it's not that I didn't point that out. I didn't go in depth, but I did point out that in both of those wins, Kell Brook was never the same fighter. Cam did expand on that, but it's not that I did not point that out.
Right, but the thing is, if you want to talk about it as far as he was coming off an eye injury, how does being older and coming off of 2 orbital fractures make it a better win for
Well,
Bud than it was?
I'm glad you said that because
That's it. No, that's it.
yeah,
Now you're getting into no.
Yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
This
not.
is
I'm not
turning
even
into a
gonna.
debate
I'm just
on a
glad he
debate.
said what he said. That just helped my
That's
scoring for the
now,
round. Okay, that cleared it
No,
up.
brother,
all right,
you
look,
good?
no questioning the judges. No
Yep.
questioning the judges. We're going to erase that. You know what I'm saying? We're not even going to strike that. But if this
Mhm.
happens one more time, it's going to be a strike on.
But
You know what
he
I'm
good.
saying? So let's just
He
get to it.
good. Hey, look, let's go ahead. Let's move to Bruce Gas. They got it under control. It's just Cam got to get clarity. Truth, don't take it personal. He's just asking you questions. This make it clear so we won't have no excuses on what the misinterpretation is. I know this is a new tough format because these judges got to ask you guys questions because we gotta make sure this get cleared. That's what's making it kind of tough. They get to ask questions. These are knowledgeable judges. He's not knocking you. He's just asking questions. So let's move to Bruce Gas. If the OG Bruce Gas, do you have questions for Kush or and Truth? Go ahead and let them go.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions to ask both of you. And we've been talking about common opponents, and we have two of them here. Now I'll start with Kush. Kush, who do you think fought the better Sean Porter? Was it Kell Brook or was it Bud Crawford or was it Errol Spence?
In my opinion, I would
Yeah.
say that it was the same Sean Porter in both fights. I can't say that Earl Spence fought the better Sean Porter because Sean Porter, his game plan that he came out and implemented in the fight against Earl Spence, it was working. His game plan that he came out and implemented in the fight with Crawford, it never worked. And opposed to what people believe, I don't believe that Terence Crawford was losing that fight upon watching it multiple times. Terence Crawford was winning that fight.
Okay, now how about the Kell Brook fight? Was it a better Kell Brook that Spence beat, or was it a better Kell Brook that Crawford beat?
I don't believe that it was a better Kell Brook that fought Terence Crawford, but I don't either believe that that was the same Kell Brook that fought Sean Porter. I believe that Kell Brook was never the same after fighting Triple G.
So they both fought damaged goods, in your opinion?
I don't think that Sean Porter was damaged, but I would definitely be.
Not Sean Porter. You already mentioned him. Kell Brook, was he damaged goods when they both fought him?
Yes.
Okay. Same question to you, Truth.
I would say that Errol fought the better Spence just simply because even when you go back to that presser and interviews, Kenny Porter was just raving about the training camp that they had during the Spence camp versus at least the controversy or the disalignment we see with the Terence Crawford. So that's why I believe Sean Porter was a better version of himself with the Errol. And just to kind of rebut, he mentioned that the fight wasn't close in his opinion, but according to the judges, it was.
Okay.
And then for if you want me to go ahead and rebut the Kell Brook.
Yeah. I wanted both fighters included in that.
Okay. So with Kell Brook, if we're going to say that he was damaged goods, that he just didn't have it anymore, and then Errol kind of swept him out the door. How does it, with it being almost 3 years later and him being in another division with 2 broken orbitals, how, like, if we were going to say Kell was damaged with Errol, what was he when Bud got him?
Can I just point out one thing? Because I don't want there to be any hypocrisies up here. If you really look at the scorecards and not what you saw on the television, the Sean Porter Crawford fight, it was a competitive fight, but it wasn't a close fight. Terence Crawford was clearly winning and gaining more ground.
And you can say that as your opinion. However,
no, I'm going according to the scorecards.
how
If
fights are
somebody will
scored
pull
had
up
it
the
close.
scorecards, I'm going according to the actual scorecards.
Yeah, the scorecards have two of the judges have it by 1 point, and one judge has shown ahead by 2 points, 3 points. I'm sorry. So it was a close fight, but I think Sean Porter was ahead on the judges' cards in that fight.
All right, Bruce Gas, the OG got that was a good ass question. Let's go to the OG Blood. Maybe he got some for these guys. Maybe he's stimulated now. OG Blood, what you got for these guys?
Yeah. Okay, I have some questions, and I don't want to get too much into my closing statements and into this, but let me ask both Truth and Kush something. Who do you guys? Let me clarify. What top 2 victories do you guys have for Crawford and Spence? Let's start with Truth. What's the top 2 victories?
The top 2 I would say was your Dennis Ugas and Kell Brook.
Okay, Ugas and Brook. Okay, Kush, what you got, man?
I mean, definitely OG. I would have to go with Jeff Horn and Sean Porter.
Horn and Porter. Okay. Okay. Now, let me say one more thing here. Let's see here. The whole thing with Porter, Kush, you say if a fighter is on the resume, he's on the resume. You use Hearns versus Leonard and said that Hearns was not called Leonard's leftovers when Hearns fought Hagler, whereas Porter and Brook is being called Spence's leftovers. Let me go back to Truth. Truth, do you see Porter and Brook as being leftovers to Spence?
As far as from if you want to talk about the top competition, I personally don't consider Kell Brook leftovers. I mean, yes, he lost to Triple G. He lost to a great fighter. I mean, and again, he was cleared by all medical professionals. Like we can't insert what our subjective rationale and opinion. He was cleared to fight. He fought. Versus with Sean Porter, I mean, he lost to Keith Thurman. I mean, again, all of these are great fighters, good losses, some might even say. So and then Sean Porter lost to Kell Brook as well. But I mean, again, good losses. Like they're fighting, when you fight top competition, someone's got to lose. I don't take no slack off that.
Okay, so so you're not one of these fans who's saying, hey, these guys are leftovers to Errol Spence.
No.
You don't
I was
hold
just
that
responding to Kush when he originally brought up how he lost to Thurman and Brook.
With all due respect, you clearly called them Errol Spence's leftovers early on in the debate.
But again, if you go back to your opening statement, you brought up how they lost to these fighters before I did.
I was just speaking about the names on the resume and
who
they lost to.
Specifically the losses, though.
Yes, definitely, because we're debating on the resume.
Right, but if you're highlighting the losses, that's you're trying to drag attention to that versus saying, they fought the top competition other than poo-pooing it.
No, I wasn't necessarily trying to shit on anybody. I was just pointing out who these guys fought in regards to you calling them top competition.
Mm-hmm. He was pointing out who the other fighters on that fighter's resume was that we were calling top competition, basically.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you something, Truth. So you said that the best wins for Spence was Ugas and Brook, right?
Right.
Okay, who was the best wins for Crawford for you, man? I know you're not defending him, but I just want to know.
No. I mean, I have no problem. Like I said, this is a great fighter. These are two great fighters. So I don't think it should be a negative to give the other fighter props if I just think mine's is better. If I'm going to be honest, are we saying best win as far as name or performance?
You could kind of time in. I mean, what do you think are the most relevant, since we're doing a resume at 147? What do you think are the two best names for Crawford to support him winning this debate. I mean, to support Spence winning the debate, but still give me the best two that you see are valid opponents for Crawford at 147.
I agree to the Sean Porter. Just simply because Sean Porter had never been stopped. I mean, that alone is just, I mean, you know, we can disaway with the circumstances. He's never been stopped before. And so Bud was the first one to go ahead and send him on to that good old pasture. He put him out the pasture on that one. And then I wouldn't go with Kale or definitely not Jeff Horn. But I would actually go probably Aegis, just as far as like the perfect quintessential game fighter that made Bud work for it, you know, versus the other ones kind of came and laid down. A close one was Jose Benavidez, but since, you know, he was on one leg and had come off a recent gunshot wound, I mean, that was still a good fight. But I would say Sean and Aegis grow green beans.
Okay, so for truth, we got Spence. For Spence, his two most valid fights was the Ugas and Brook fight. For Crawford, it was Porter and Mean Machine. Kutch, you said for your boy, what you're going with Crawford, you said that Horn and Porter was his best wins. What about for Spence? Who do you have as Spence's best two wins, most meaningful wins? I'm just curious.
I would say that Errol Spence most meaningful wins, or just meaningful, or can I go like with the whole spectrum, like Truth?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
I would say Kell Brook, because that's a defining fight for Errol Spence, and Sean Porter.
Sean Porter. Okay. You know, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I just wanted to know. That's it. That's it.
Okay, those are some good questions, man. Hey, listen, that's clarity. All right, and that gives clarity to the audience across the board. Now we're gonna go to my man Jay Cotto. He's representing the chat. Okay. Jay Cotto, send your questions. Now be advised, Truth and Kush. Jay Cotto can ask tougher questions because he represents the chat. He is not a judge. He was just filling in, but he gets to ask a little bit more tougher questions. The judges have to kind of be modest, but Jay Cotto get to ask questions. All right, Jay Cotto, you got the floor.
Thank you, Zone. No doubt. Peace to everybody. What's up, gentlemen? Great debate. This is fire. This is how debate should go. Now, this goes to both of you, all right? Hopefully, I represent the chat, you know, at a high, at a high regard here. I hope we're thinking on the same level, but I'm just picking off from what I got from both of you gentlemen. So these are just questions. Let's speak on leftovers. All right. When you, Mr. Truth, when you spoke the terms leftovers, exactly what do you mean by that?
Leftovers meaning as far as they had taken a severe loss from a prior opponent. From a similar opponent beforehand. And the term leftovers has been used all throughout boxing, like especially when, and I bring up Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. When Pacquiao was going back and fighting Floyd's former opponents, many called them Floyd's leftovers. So that was the term that was coined and used for that just specific example. We could go deeper as well.
All right, no doubt. Thank you for that clarity. Same question to you, Mr. Kush. Speak on leftovers, the terminology. What does that mean to you?
What I would define as a leftover is a fighter who's going through similar, trials, as was Truth alluded to, who just isn't the same anymore when you see them get in the ring. If they just don't look how they previously did at their height, then I would consider them a leftover. I.e. Kell Brook. I don't consider a Sean Porter a leftover.
Okay, no doubt. Thank you very much. All right, now let me just give you the rebut to that. For the chat. Now, the term leftovers, we have to say, is very full of shit. especially in boxing, simply because, and here's one prime example that's going to shut both of that down. Okay, gentlemen, you had the Fabulous Four. They fought each other 2-3 times, right? So they were each other's leftovers. Makes no sense. So let's just put that in the boxing dictionary, that leftovers is the same thing as we should take when we're calling fighters bums or has-beens or whatever the fuck they are. Because when you look at that terminology, you can't use it on one and not on the other. If you use it on both, it makes no fucking sense. So the term leftover is just terminology to where you're just trying to down fighters, empty ammo, so on and so forth. All right. Now, here's a very interesting question on the side of Errol Spence Jr. We'll go to Truth first on this one. Does the Mikey Garcia fight on Errol Spence Jr.'s resume, do you find that relevancy?
I do, because it was a pound for pound fighter, and actually Mikey was picked by several notable boxing analysts to win. Again, that was a coming of age that also established him being a pay-per-view star, darling, as well. That was a pretty big fight as far as for the career. Yes.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. Mr. Truth, was the Mikey Garcia fight on Errol Spence Jr.'s resume relevant?
Oh, you're asking me? No,
Please tell us why.
because Mikey Garcia had never fought in the division. He only fought 2 times at the 147 division weight limit, and he was moving up 2 weight classes in order to try to achieve something great, in which he wasn't able to do.
Thank you very much for that, no doubt. And you know what? Out of the two there, I'm more than sure the chat agrees with Mr. Truth there. Personally, my retort on that for the chat, which would possibly be the same answer that I'm saying, is you've got a champion at that time. If I'm not mistaken, he had 2 straps. We were expecting a quick unification. At that time, Terrence Bud Crawford could afford him. This is exactly why I find it relevant that, just like Floyd Mayweather when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, having him come up 2 fucking weight classes, exactly how that situation was for me on Errol Spence Jr.'s side. I think that he should have just stood with people, that saying, fight someone your own size. I think that was very relevant, that term at that point between them. So I have to agree with that. And my final question for both of y'all, and I'm going to start off with Mr. True. Does Sean Porter's father's perspective on the Crawford fight and the Spence Jr. fight with his son, does his perspective hold full relevancy on an argument?
I do, but just simply because Kenny Porter is a renowned coach. He even went up there with the Olympic team with Errol Spence as well, and so it's not especially in the conversation between Errol and Sean, I would believe he is going to be objective, especially since that is his son, but he also recognizes Errol. There are several interviews that Kenny Porter has, just glamorizing Errol Spence Jr. and then versus Sean Porter, his father. He trained him from, I believe it was like the age of 5 or whatever. And so he knows Sean Porter, not only as a trainer, they have that intimate relationship, but that's his father as well. He's seen him grow up, mature as a man. I think that holds infinite water.
Okay, no doubt, much respected. Mr. Kush, same question. Was Sean Porter's father's perspective on the Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight holding any relevancy to you guys' argument?
I don't believe it does. Being that in that Terrence Crawford fight specifically with Sean Porter, that Kenny Porter made it clear to Sean Porter that if he wasn't seeing the things that he wanted to see in that ring, that he was going to do the action that he carried out. I don't think that he believed that Sean Porter could beat Terrence Crawford.
Okay, no doubt. Well respected as well, no doubt. Now, here's the chat's retort. The chat's retort would be that he holds half relevancy simply because it is his father, like Mr. True said, and he is well renowned. But aside of that, he has seen his boy grow. He has been there. He put him together, basically helped put him together. Assembly required by father. But now, when you take a look at how it makes no sense in the argument all around, this is with any debate when it's coming to that, is simply because Sean Porter's father is not the one in there fighting. Sean Porter's father is not the one who's being asked these questions, and you're right in front of the camera and you're actually saying, I trained very hard for this fight, but I really couldn't really do what I wanted to execute, which was my game plan. It failed. And then when you're asked again between two fighters on the comparison between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford, right? It gets to a point now where you have the man himself saying, I listen, I was more confused in the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Terence Bud Crawford, which is very effective. That right there will tell you the truth, especially if he said it 2 times, even though it's separate. And that's all. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Please enjoy the debate. Keep it the way you're going. Thank you.
All right, cool. We're finna close this out. We got one question from the chat that you guys can just openly answer. He's saying, this is from the Fix Sports TV. He says, if you think Brook or Porter wasn't the same fighter, do you think Bud beat them as such, considering the stoppage? Are you two guys clear on that question? Do you need to have it translated?
Yeah, I can go for it. So I'll set the foundation for KUSH to retort.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
I don't think they were the same fighter. However, again, when you hop in the ring, like when we're comparing between the two, but if we're just going to keep it straight to Crawford, he got in there. Kell was game for at least 1 or 2 rounds, or well, at least 4 rounds technically, because we saw that he started puffing up Bud's eye. Bud's eye started to get a little watery. With Sean Porter, even then it was still a close fight. Some arguably the scorecards had him winning. So it's just when it came down to like that deep, when you got to dig deep and push past, and especially in the Sean Porter example, like if the circumstances that revolved around that, but just as far as digging deep, biting down and going after it, continuing, that wasn't the same that we saw versus Errol.
My simple answer would be yes, being that I'll go back to what I always say about Earl Spence. Earl Spence doesn't know how to stop someone. It just happens. He has a high velocity, a high output, and he will himself to a stoppage at times. But Terence Crawford knows how to set up a knockout. And Terence Crawford is, when he smells blood, he's relentless. I do believe that he would have still got to a Brook or a Porter, even if they were at the top of their game.
So I just, if I may, kind of come back at that. You can't say that when Errol Spence has a higher KO percentage than Bud. You can't say he doesn't know how to knock people out when he has a higher KO percentage.
That's not true.
Oh, what's the truth?
That he has a higher KO percentage than Bud. And
But
who did he knock out? And who did he knock out at 147?
Who did he knock out at 147? We can go down the list, but if you just
go
pull
down
up
the
the
list.
percentage, we're about to close. But if you pull up the percentage, it shows.
I have a question.
Terence Crawford has 100% KO ratio at 147.
Billy.
I have a question as well, gentlemen. Real quick too.
Cam, let's check the question. Let me see. Let's see what it is. What question do you have, Cam?
No, I just saw. Well, never mind. I'm about to say. Kato got the chat. I just seen a really good question in the chat.
Okay.
And it sparked a question that I actually wanted to state that. Pose
right.
that
We're gonna check it. You passed. You good? We don't want to turn it into Cam versus the debaters.
No.
We good. We good.
I just want to ask, does the lineal championship?
Cam, We still on Phil's question in their dialogue, and that I see that question in the chat. I see that from 513 Boxing. I see that. Let them finish their thing. You good. You've concluded your part. Let them cook. Go ahead. It's on you guys.
No, if you like you said with 147, but we can pick up some of those.
I mean, that's the only place that Earl Spence
what
fought. That's the only weight class he fought at.
Right. As far as the KO percentage overall, but if you want to talk about stopping, he stopped your Dennis Ugas, he stopped Carlos Ocampo, he stopped Lamont Peterson, he stopped Kel. Like, if you want to talk about names, I mean, versus an Green Beans or a Jose Benavidez Jr. Or again, if you want to go that route, we can go the route of who has he fought as well.
Well, if we go that route, then we have to talk about all of Crawford's fights at 147. Earl Spence doesn't have a higher KO percentage than him at 147.
If you're talking about 47, correct. But they're both coming off of a stoppage victory against fighters who have never been stopped before.
Okay,
I still maintain my position about him not stopping your Dennis Ugas.
Okay, so let's hold that right now. Let's get into the last chat question. And it comes from 513 Boxing. Does the lineal championship matter to them? Them being you guys. So we'll finish this question off, and then we'll run into you guys' closing statement, and we'll turn it back over to the judges. So the question is, I will repeat, does the lineal championship matter to them? They're asking you, KUSH, and they're asking you, Truth. KUSH, go ahead. You got the lead.
It definitely matters to me. To me, it's the most important because it means that you're the man. That's what it's all about.
Okay, Truth, it's on you.
It does have importance. However, just because you got it from somebody, but even though you just holding on to the lineal, but you're not putting in any other work in the division, like it only matters if you're actually putting in work as far as fighting the top competition, not just sitting on the lineal ship that you the man and that everything has to come through you. You know, even though Buster Douglas was the man, nobody respected him as that. We saw that in his very next fight. Obviously, he was, but again, it does have importance, but we have to calibrate that importance.
Okay, awesome. Now, closing statements. We transitioning off that. That was a good round, man. That was very, very engaging and informative. Great questions from the judges. Great questions from the chat. Closing statement. It is on you, KUSH, followed by Truth, and then we'll get the judges in here to render their verdict.
I'd close in saying that there's a big difference in fighting the biggest names and fighting the top guys. I do feel that Terence Crawford and Earl Spence don't have the best resumes, but I feel like at 147, their resumes are actually very similar. But I give Terence Crawford definitely a larger advance in him being the number one fighter in the division, being that he stopped everybody and shares two common opponents with Earl Spence, who by his own admission are his best fights. And that's how I would close it.
So, and what he just said is actually the perfect point. First, fighting the names versus the top competition. Earl Spence defeated the champions of the division. Again, the top competition, you have the belt, and they had a name as well. He had the best of both worlds. And so if we want to talk about that, that's the exact point. Errol did it, and he beat him and became unified. He unified the division after all. So that, I mean, when it came to the Kell Brook fight, there was no sides of the street. Everybody could get on along. So at any point in time, Bud could have unified as well. But since Errol did it against those names, beating them before Bud and at a more heightened stakes rather than a voluntary defense, That's why, and obviously the other fights we mentioned, but since we're going to just press on kind of went to the Sean Porter Kell Brooks show, that's what we're going to press on. But that's why he also has a better resume at 147 as well. And I want to thank everybody. Man, thank you, KUSH, for this good spirited debate,
Definitely,
man.
definitely.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate. And there was I do want to reiterate with Cam, like it wasn't like I was going after him or nothing.
Hey, good.
Like that.
Truth. Don't worry about the cleanup. You just focus. You got it. I got you on that. Awesome debate from both of you guys. This was clean and concise and decisive.
Definitely.
Respect to both of you guys. Respect to the judges. We understand what it is. We know it get a little testy. No problem. We big boys over here. Speaking of Cam, what is your verdict on the debate between these two articulate debaters? What do you got?
Man, this was an amazing debate, to say the least. This was definitely a firefight. This was a close one. I gotta. Okay. Now, also, Zone, I gotta apologize.
Let me say this. We all brothers here. I have to say this. When you guys do this, this is a cash prize. So give it, please, your best, because immediately after this, I have both of these guys' information, and I'm going to send a winner the cash prize, and they will be in a ranking pool. I will explain that a little bit later afterwards. But give it your best, guys, because I'm going to send the winner the cash prize as promised.
Understood. Yes, sir. Let me see. Now, it was a couple things that kind of stood out to me, because both guys, they did their thing. They came out slugging. Like I said, it was a really close fight. Overall, though, I had to give it to KUSH, just because there was a couple things that kind of stood out to me in that. Okay, when we talked about the fighter's own words, and then we went back and brought up the trainer's statement. Like, it's one thing we saying the trainer knows the fighter better than they know themselves, but we're not physically in that man's body. You know what I mean? So I can't really tell you how you feel. So if you come out and tell me you feel great, you're at 100%, I can only take you at your word. You know what I mean? Now, if you go out there and you look less than, you know what I'm saying? So and then the lad, I ain't gonna lie, it came down to the last question. The lineal question really kind of got it for me. In that, when you talk about the lineal really is like you beat the man, you beat the guy at the division. You know what I mean? Now, when we talk about, because we talk about strictly at 147, and we talk about the quality of opposition, but what we don't talk about is the fact that this same quality of opposition, these highly touted guys with these highly touted names, were choosing to jump in line to fight ERROL when they were ranked in the WBO as a mandatory to fight Bud for a title. So it was kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, we talk about your Dennis Ugas, you know what I mean? Your Dennis was ranked in the WBO and didn't activate that mandatory. Danny Garcia was there, was offered to fight, didn't activate his mandatory. Even when we talk about the young guns, we talk about Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis. Both of these young lions are over here. Both of these guys have effectively jumped out of line when they were right there and had a shot at Terence Crawford's title. They hopped out of line and went into other sanctioning body rankings to hop in line to fight ERROL, as opposed to they had a shot right there. And now the lineal thing was in that at the time when Bud came into the division, Jeff Horn had just beaten Manny Pacquiao for the WBO championship and the lineal crown. Manny had the lineal at 147. Jeff Horn beat him, took the lineal, took the WBO. So when Bud beat Jeff, he snatched those. That's what a lot of people don't talk about. But I can't lie, when you gave me you said it matters, but it's like, ooh, that's you just said the lineal was the man. You can't say the lineal was the man and then give a disclaimer. He is the man, but he ain't. If he's the man, that means it's on the challenger to come snatch it, not me go looking for it. You feel what I'm saying? But that's my own thought about champions and fighters. But overall, this was an amazing debate, gentlemen. I do apologize that my phone died in the middle of the joint. And I had to hurry up and reboot and get back on, so I apologize for that. I thought I had my technology up and
I
secure.
cleaned you up. They didn't even miss a beat. I be monitoring that. I seen you drop off. You got back on. You clean. You bringing it up. You ain't got to do it. You didn't miss a beat. You good.
Okay, 100, man. So
I have backup plans for backup plans. Bruce Gas, the OG. It is on you. What do you see?
Okay, I saw a razor thin debate. Very, very awesome conversation with two very knowledgeable boxing fans. And and these two careers, they're so similar. They're both undefeated pros. I mean, go back to the amateurs. They both have 12 losses in the amateurs. This is how similar these guys are and how related they are. But I had one question that I'd like to ask. This might be the tiebreaker. As far as the lifestyles go, who do you think represents boxing? Who do you think is going to pull this out character-wise? I mean, we know we've seen Errol Spence in some pretty compromising videos. We've never seen that with Bud Crawford. They're both one's 35, one's 32. They're both in the dessert years of their careers. I just want to ask the judges, what do you think about the moral stance and the mental stance? Who's got the psychological advantage in this fight? Would it be Crawford or would it be Spence? I want to ask each one of you that question.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Is that for the judges or is that for the two debaters?
That's for the two debaters.
Okay, two debaters, KUSH and Truth. What are you guys' response to what Bruce Gas just asked?
You want to go first on this, Truth, or you want me to close it up?
You can.
I would say that it's definitely Crawford. He has the psychological edge. He lives the prototypical lifestyle that you would want to show your kid if you wanted your kid to pursue a life in boxing. Terence Crawford, he's very consistent, and I think that consistency is the key in living a model lifestyle. The man does for his people and all these such things that we all know, and he stays in the gym. He's a dog, and he puts boxing first.
Truth.
Yeah, I would say it's ERROL, just simply because even if you mess up, you still have the chance to right the ship. Like if we're going to talk about, if you want to be perfect, pristine and everything, that's not everybody's story. Some people do mess up and then have a chance to redeem themselves. And so you can tell your kids, hey, even if you mess up, you still have a chance to come back and make something of yourself. I mean, this isn't the poo-poo Bud. He's a great man as far as that's concerned. Even when he's not trying to fight R&B singers. But other than that, like, they both got some dirt on their name. But it's more about the story that, hey, even though if you're not perfect, you can still come back. And I think that's a better story rather than just, they just kept their head down, never made a mistake, never erred and everything like that, even though both fighters have.
Man, you're really making me dig down deep for this one. Very, very close. I'm gonna have to go with KUSH on the debate, though. I'm gonna have to lean a little bit towards the KUSH man.
Okay, all right. That's 2 for KUSH. Blood boxing. What do you see and how do you have it?
Okay. All right. Okay. This was a very good debate. Both Truth and KUSH agree that Brook was one of the best wins for Spence. Both KUSH and Truth agree Porter was one of the best victories for Crawford. Truth argued more for Ugas than KUSH did for Horn, because KUSH had Horn as one of Crawford's best wins. In fact, I didn't hear much on Jeff Horn at all, to be real with you. Both contestants once again made great points. Whether the ref stops the fight or not, it's a stoppage. In regards to Spence versus Ugas and the ref stopping the fight, Ugas wanted to continue in the Spence fight, but Porter also wanted to continue in the Crawford fight. But a stoppage is a stoppage, and this is something that you guys spent quite a few minutes on, so I took note of it. Also, a comparison to a 20-something-year-old Hearns being used as leftovers is not a valid comparison to Brook and Porter, who were a little older than Hearns at that point. Brook, you could say had some injuries that Hearns did not have. He was a younger guy who was only beat by Ray Leonard at that time. We went into fighter and trainer statements and spent too much time on that. Whether Kell Brook himself and Crawford believes Brook was in better shape or not, Brook was an older fighter and had accumulated more damage by the time he fought Crawford. Everyone always says that, hey, I'm in the best shape of my life. That's been done several times before, and Truth did bring light to that. I think Truth did a little better in the rebuttal rounds, even though there was a lot of talk on fighter and trainer statements. I'm going to give it to Truth over my longtime homie, KUSH. So
I ain't mad at you, OG. I ain't mad.
KUSH is my boy, though. I've known him longer, but I'm going to keep it real with what was presented in the debate.
Okay, so Blood says Truth won, but Bruce Gassy OG and Cam the Baptist override it with a 2-1 victory for my boy KUSH. KUSH, I got your information. What I am going to do now is I'm going to allow Jay Cotto to give his critique of the overall debate and give some thoughts. KUSH and Truth, I'm going to put you guys in the background. I'm going to send you guys as your the winner obviously is KUSH. I'm going to give you your information, and I'm going to send you your bread, and we're going to go into overtime, allow other people to come in and speak on it. And Truth and KUSH, thank you for your debate. Do you guys got any closing statements before Jay Cotto go? Because I'm going to open up for other people to come in and give their opinion. So we'll start with you, Truth. You did your thing, and then we'll finish with the victor and KUSH. Go ahead, Truth. Last statements. Where can they find you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. It was definitely a good debate. I can't help the irony that the one with the Bud emoji voted for Bud, of course. But, it was still a good debate nevertheless. I did want to respond to the lineal championship that he mentioned. How was Manny the lineal when he lost to Floyd?
He wasn't. That's why it's on the line now. I didn't want to correct the judge, but you right on that, Truth, and the shit was tough, bro. Much respect to you.
That's
bro.
what I was saying. Just because he said it came down to that, but KUSH definitely cooked, man. Definitely good. I'm glad I enjoyed myself. It's definitely good. Next time, man. Hey, maybe I'll get the decision my way.
Okay,
man. I just want to. Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad, Zone.
Let me check. Truth, get out of here, man. Have a good day, man. Keep listening, and we appreciate you, man. You did a great job. You're going to be ranked at the conclusion of Smoke's debate. You're still going to be in the top 5, though. Don't get it twisted. Come back and keep working. I'm going to create a ranking system. Don't worry about it, and you're on that list. Have a good day, big dog.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Hey, KUSH the Great, before we continue, did you get that?
I didn't even check. I wasn't even in it for that, but yes, I did.
Okay, let's make sure. We just want to make sure we're a man of our word, and that is concluded. No stones left unturned. You got the cash prize, big dog. That's how you do it. This is prize fighting, big dog. Hey, listen, you do your victory lap, victory speech. You got the floor, big dog. Go ahead.
Hey man, look, I'm coming at this shit humble. It's not because they fucking resumes are so neck and neck. That's why this is a great fight. But that shit ain't easy, man. To prove that one or the other got a better resume, man. That shit was tough. Much respect to Truth. He is definitely a formidable opponent. I got a lot of respect for him.
All right, big dog, man. Go ahead and enjoy your prize money, and then I appreciate you for your time. Hopefully, it's not, is good and educational for you. I'll see you next time, man. I'm finna go ahead and let you enjoy yourself and get you up out of here.
Yes, sir. Thanks, y'all.
No problem. All right, man. We passing this thing to Jay Cotto, and then we gonna go into overtime. I'm gonna open this up for people to speak their piece on it. We do the review here as well. The debate concluded about 1 hour and 40 minutes. We're gonna keep it there, but we finna go into overtime. We finna talk that shit and cook that shit. Cam, I'm finna get on your ass too as while we here. We gonna talk about this shit. Hey, if you want to join, if you want to review the debate as well, if you want to give your opinion about the debate, you could jump in on the chat. But Jay Cotto, what do you think about the entirety of the debate? You got the floor.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, Zone? It's Mike Tyson. Listen, I think this is one hell of a fucking debate. You know what I'm saying? It was a bit critical. But at the same time, the chat scorecard, I had KUSH winning 2 rounds, and the last round wasn't the truth. You know what I'm saying? He closed up a bit better. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to say that it was one hell of a debate. This is the way a debate goes. And congratulations to both men. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you.
All right, shoot. This is an open panel, man, and let's keep cooking. Hey, 513, you just jumped in. Let me say this too, man. Hey, man, I swing a big old hammer, man. Hey, listen, I'm for real about this. Great debate. I greatly appreciate it, man. Blood is like my big brother. Bruce Gas, man, the questions was awesome. This is what I'm looking for. Bruce Gas, the questions that he asked is what I'm looking for. Try not, if you can try not. Don't dig so deep into your personal thoughts and biasness. Also, Cam, I gotta say this, because we can't have this shit look like monkey shit. Man, you gotta stop talking so much. Okay, it is already known, what your opinion may be. But when you talk way too much, you put your foot in your mouth. You can't be saying stuff if you don't have the information in front of you and then say this is what it determines the debate. You can't do that. You go
we wasn't on Dr. Phil. You know what I'm saying, Cam? You was talking a little bit too much, man.
Yes, sir. But I know that's just going to be. And also, let me say this about all my brothers on here. We're going to get experience as we go, and we're going to get into a solid rhythm as we go, and we're going to get it correct and more concise. But that would be my word to anybody. Take your affiliations out of this shit. Be clear, concise, and decisive so that we can bring people in, because it's going to be bread on the line, and it's going to be a ranking system. So when you make a fact or statement and say, hey, this is what's going to determine it all for me, make sure when you say that shit is true. All right? Go ahead, 513. What you got? Bring 513 in here. 513, go ahead. What's your thoughts on the debate, man? What you got? All right, 513 ain't got. Now it's open, man. Blood, Bruce Gas, what you think? Cam, you want to rebuttal anything? Jay Cotto, you can go ahead. What y'all got, man?
Personally, I think I did a very good job of keeping my affiliations out of this. Y'all know I'll be wanting to jump in this like, nigga, no, that ain't right. But I stayed muted. I didn't say anything. I felt like I did good. This was growth for me, gentlemen.
No doubt, right? But we're trying to get it accurate as possible, right? Grow and grow and grow. We definitely appreciate that. But when it comes to the integrity of the channel and the debates, before you say, hey, I want to be a judge because it has Terrence Crawford name in, or your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, you better come correct. Because why you was a judge is because you volunteered your services.
Now okay? I did mess up with the lineal joint. I forgot all about the Floyd.
We gonna move on past that, but be careful with that. And we gonna go with the judges, because I'm not here to debate with the judges or argue, because it's my responsibility to pick better. But you can't do that, because what a debater will do is they will sauce you up with what you say out of your mouth. All All right. Big Phil Walker, what you got on the debate? Blood, Bruce Gas, y'all all jump on here. Y'all speak your piece. Go ahead,
Hold
Big
on,
Phil.
before Phil goes, let me just get in there real quick since I did judge. Truth, I thought he won the debate, and I was not being biased in any kind of way because, number one, I favor Crawford over Spence. And not only that, I know KUSH better than I know Truth, right? But I still thought Truth made the better points defending Errol Spence. Like I said, and I wrote it down, right? There was some points in the rebuttal round that I thought Truth did better on. I wrote down who these guys' favorite fighters were. I mean, the favorite opponents that they had. And I just think Truth defended his stance better when it came to the actual resume and things like that. But anyways, it was razor thin. It was very close. Very good debate, man. I really enjoyed this a whole lot. Hopefully you'll call me back to judge some more, man. Thanks a whole lot.
Hey, for the record, you guys, listen, these guys are calling for you guys. This is organic and natural as possible. I got guys in the background saying they want to get in here. If you want to get on and call somebody out, you can. I have no influence on it at all. They keep saying Bruce Gas, Blood, Bruce Gas, Blood. And what I'm going to do, if I keep hearing your name, Bruce Gas and Blood, we're going to talk about some in the background because I also like to take care of my OGs. You know, don't be prideful. Let me work for you because if you guys are keep getting called for these debates and that's hours and hours, I'm going to holler at you and I'm going to take care of you too on the back end of that. Just trust me on that. But they keep asking for you guys. They really love your opinion and they really respect your guys' opinion. That's not even me. I didn't even ask for it. Okay? Go ahead, Phil. It's on you. Bruce Gas, you'll be next.
Man, look, check this out. Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Lima Charlie.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Lima Charlie. You loud and clear. Lima Charlie. You
Yes,
good.
sir.
Hello?
You good. We can hear you, Phil.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, check this out, man. Let me say this right here.
Man,
okay, so that was a good debate, man. Outside of the debate, I think the platform and the structure of the debate was a big time plus for me. I think including ability to ask the guys questions, but obviously, as you mentioned, because even after the questions, the competitors have a chance to do a closing argument, and you don't want to give them any ammunition for their closing argument. Consider it, right? So I thought that was good. Outside of that, man, I think, honestly, man, I think that those guys did leave some stuff on the table. Both of them. Obviously, I'm a fan of both Bud and Spence, so me listening in, I just wanted to hear the good points. I think they both shouted out some good points. I don't agree in the mindset that if a fighter is on your resume, he's on your resume, right? If you guys share the same opponents, you guys share the same opponents.
I don't know what position you're in, but you're choppy.
You know,
you're choppy.
us inserting our own personal beliefs of who we.
Phil, you kind of hold on for a second. Let me get Phil. If you can hear us, Antonio, MMA, and the rest of the panel, you're choppy. I don't know if you're moving around or what you're doing, but you got to get in a location where we can hear you because you're making some good points, but you're very, very choppy. So I'm gonna let Bruce Gas go ahead and cook so we can keep the flow going good, and then I'll bring you back in once you kind of get in a location that you could speak on. Go ahead, Bruce Gas, you got the flow.
All right, bro. Hey, I appreciate the accolades, you know, about my skills as a debating judge. This is something I very, very seldom do. You know, I'm not a fanboy one way or the other. In the past, I rode with Ali and I rode with Marvin Hagler, but you know, I got over that, and I'm seeing cats today that still haven't gotten over freaking Lomachenko and Devin Haney. You know, it's only boxing. But you know, but you guys are keeping it real over here. Both debaters made some great points. I tend to go a little bit more with KUSH. But it could have went either way. There were specific questions that kind of got me triggered there. The common opponents, the quality of the opponents when they fought them. But I mean, they were both very, very well researched, and there was no animosity. It was a great debate, man. It was a good time. I was up till about 2:30 last night doing boxing, man. I got up this morning and did my thing, and I knew I was committed to this. I was looking forward to it, and it was well worthwhile, bro. It was a great conversation. I got some extremely knowledgeable boxing people in the chat and on the panel. And man, I'm gonna go get me some eggs right now. And this is a great day for boxing. We got a fantastic fight coming up tonight. We've got some very interesting cards coming up all day long. And hey, man, we keep it boxing, we keep it real. And peace out to every one of you cats.
All right, enjoy your day, OG.
Yeah, I'm gonna run to Starbucks real quick, Zone, but keep me on the panel. I'm coming. Starbucks is like 5 minutes down the street.
Okay, I got you.
If you want to kick me off, you can, but I'll stay on because I'm just going and coming right back. So I'll
okay, yeah, stay there. I got you on mute, and we know what it is. Hey, Jedi, go ahead and cook, and we'll come back to you, Phil, and 513. I see you coming in and out. We'll get back to you. Jay Carter, what you got?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, the debate was great. It was close. Both men did, great presentations. If they did any research, which really sounded like it, because you really got to be a boxing, fucking Rolodex in order for you to have all those facts. So, great work and kudos to your hard work. You know what I mean? If you guys did any research whatsoever, it was flawless. On both sides. It's just a couple of things that I had just noticed. You know what I'm saying? And the chat noticed, and I was, basically before I made my judgment, even though it don't really mean shit in this debate, I'm just saying, as for representing the chat, and thank you for that, Zone. I appreciate that accolade. You know what I'm saying? I just started pulling everything together from what the chat was saying and basically trying to filter it out. You know what I mean? So, KUSH and the truth, man. Great example of a debate. This is the way things should go. You know what I'm saying? And should hold on. I want to also thank, Blood Boxing and especially Zone 6 Sports. You know what I mean? Especially, I want to thank you, Zone, for changing your platform as well. Or should I say adding on? The fucking thing changed, my bad. Adding on to the platform, other sports and stuff, so guys can have more of a variety. You know what I mean? And they can open their mind up to research. I see you, brother. I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Research is the key, especially in this motherfucking game of debating and boxing. That's the major key to this shit, which is research. So, before you even touch the panel, before you want to become a judge, what was said before here on this podcast, nobody's supposed to be biased. You know what I'm saying? You come unbiased, regardless if you're judging, against your favorite fighter. You have to come with an open mind, an empty cup, and let the knowledge of the debate fill you. Even though your cup runneth over, let the knowledge in the debate that's spilling runneth your cup over. So that way you can make your own ingredient of your own fucking decisions. You know what I'm saying? But also I would like to plug my channel, The Jedi. I'm a variety channel. I talk boxing first, but I'm also into world politics and everything else. Dioramas, collectibles. So come check me out, man, The Jedi. And thank you, Zone 6, no doubt, man. Keep pumping. It's good to see you. Peace to Blood. Peace to motherfucking, the OG, of course, Bruce Gas. Peace to you guys, man. Peace to KUSH, The Truth. Cam and everyone else on the panel that's on here right now. Can't see your name, but God bless each and every one of you and your families, man. Thank you, Zone 6.
All right, man. Have a good day, Jedi. I appreciate that. Man, that was a good statement right there. All right, Phil, it's on you, big dog. All right, Phil, I guess we'll come back to you. Hey, go ahead, Joe Money. What you think about the debate, man? What you want to say? What you want to speak on?
I think that was left out. You know what I mean? But I also think the debate was great, and the platform that you set, Zone. I told you, bro. That's why boxing been missing you, bro. Because the leadership behind the debate that you set up, man, that was critiqued, and it was excellent. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm glad to see all these brothers coming back. So it's really making boxing stronger in the same sense. But I thought the debate was great. I thought y'all had some valid points. I thought that it was powerful. You know what I mean? It was great for boxing. it was really good for boxing, and I'm glad to see everybody coming through. Was that 78 on here?
No, there was Jay Cotto. You had
Oh,
Blood
Jay Cotto.
Cousins,
Okay.
you had those guys on there.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Money Brown, man, real quick, I want you to click the link if you can, man. I know you probably might have did drive by, but Money Brown, if you're still listening, man, there's room for you over here. We like your debate style. We would love for you to come on and get over here, man. It's a cash prize for it. It ain't gonna be like you're wasting your time or anything like that. So come on over here, man. If you can, click the link, Money Brown, if you're still listening. But go ahead, so Money, you got the floor.
Oh no, you good. I said what I needed.
Oh, can you hear me now, Zone? Am I better, or am I still choppy?
No, Phil, you got it. Go ahead. It's on you. They listening. They want to hear what you got to say.
All right, yeah, man. So I was cooking on that, but yeah, I was talking about the actual the platform and everything. And I know Zone probably is gonna do this, but I want to give a shout out to Get the Smoke because he is the foundation of this new platform. So and Zone is the one who implemented it today, and it turned out well. So I want to give a shout out to Get the Smoke on that regard because I do like the ability to ask the debaters questions to get clarity. I think that's very important because sometimes you may make an argument for a guy and, you know, the judge may not have all the information that he needs to assess your points correctly. And by asking questions, you give them the ability to make a honest and fair decision. So I do like that concept that was implemented in today's debate. Outside of that, man, I think both guys did a wonderful job. I think you do need to be careful with the questions that you ask these guys because you don't want to give the opposing opponents, whoever may be your favorite fighter, or if you're indifferent with either guy, ammunition in the rebuttal round because you do have a rebuttal round and closing statements at the end in between the questions. So judges in the future, just be careful with that. We want to hold a level of integrity. So just putting that out there. Man, outside of that, I think both guys did a wonderful job expressing their points for their particular fighter. I think a lot was left out by both guys. I think the question at the end, man, who is the one that my boy Bruce Gas asked, right? To render his verdict on who he thought the winner should be. I thought that was a great question. I thought guys could have elaborated more on how Terence Crawford is the best of both worlds in that sense, because one guy alluded to it and said that, hey, Crawford's not totally clean as well. And he's absolutely right. Crawford isn't clean. You know, a lot of people like to forget that Crawford, you know, got shot in the head, came back from that. Obviously, he was leaving a event and got in the car and he got shot. So, look, at the end of the day, Crawford is the best of both worlds. And then I think you could have mentioned that. But I do like the way my boy twisted and said, hey, look, Errol Spence Jr. is his story, right? His story to me is better. That's subjective, obviously. But we cannot deny and say that some of the things that have went on with Errol Spence Jr. is very intriguing, to say the least, to say whether some of these things will have an impact in this fight. But he turned it into a point of saying, hey, look, this guy can go back and tell his kids that, hey, you don't get everything right the first time around. Sometimes things happen, and you have the ability, if you're blessed, to self-correct. I do like that because that is a powerful life lesson. And, you know, I'm a believer in sports, you know, have a major impact on your life. So with that being said, man, I enjoyed it, man. I'm sitting at the job. I'm listening in. That's why I couldn't join you guys. So I'm taking some time out to come on the panel and express my gratitude with this new format and my gratitude with the debaters and just both of those debaters having good sportsmanship, man, with respect, because that's the kind of energy we're bringing to the sports community in YouTube. And man, it's more to come, man. So y'all boys stay tuned.
I'll be right there. All right. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this too, and we got to pass the rock. I'm gonna say this with these debates just so you guys kind of have clarity. This is also where we will do the post fight, right? Debate. We don't want to break it up. We want to keep the momentum going. That way, these guys get their credibility. I will always send the two debaters off so that they can just listen and hear and grow from there. And it will be an open panel at the back end, however long that takes. This was a grown man, well-tailored debate. We won't get into any other subjects or any other announcements. We want to keep it fulfilled on the debate. So we're not going to go into another video about something else. This is about KUSH and the debate. That'll be another video for another time. But today is just about their debate and the art of debating. Right now, came out victorious. Hopefully, he knows some stuff that he needs to work on and learn, and he grow from there. What'll happen is I'm going to create a ranking system on these debates. And right now, we have, obviously, this is still in the spirit of debate. Sunday, we got Get This Smoke. He's going to be versus BVO for the undisputed title and another cash prize. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And the winner of that will be the real undisputed champion across all platforms, because the judges in the format is way structured. It does allow for engagement and the thoroughness behind it. Those guys Get to Smoke, and BVO has already selected their judges. They confirmed that they will be here. They know the platform and they know what it is. And we will do the same courtesy for them guys. We will allow them guys to retire after the results are in, and then we will critique and then talk about the platform after that for people to engage further. That'll be on Sunday. That'll be at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. in the afternoon for the Eastern Standard Time, and then you can go ahead and build your time out accordingly based on your time zone. But anybody that wants to debate is open. I'm not here to instigate or suggest anything. I'm completely neutral. I'm here for the spirit of the debate. If Zoe Money want to, hypothetically call somebody out on a subject matter, he can do that. I'll allow you guys to select your own judges, your own time and date. The challenger, you got to go first if you want to challenge somebody, or you guys can flip a coin. It depends on if the person who's being challenged want to do that. But if you call somebody out, just know you're going to go first. That is the opening, the rebut to the opening. In the second leg or second round, the judges will ask you questions along with the chat, and you get the dialogue back and forth with the judges for clarity, and then you close your statement, and then we will render a verdict. That's how it's going to go. I passed the rock with that to my boy Zoe Money. What you got on your mind, Zoe Money?
Well, the debate the debate was so good, bro. I liked it a lot. This the first. I think this is like my second one catching. You know what I mean? But I just feel like personally with Crawford and Spence, it's kind of hard to really say who woulda, coulda, or shoulda done. You know what I mean? Because they both got flaws in their system, and they both got questionable people on their resume and timing. So, I mean, both of them fought solid fighters, and I truly just got it a 50-50 fight. I'm rocking with Team Bud, but it's an amazing fight about to happen, and I can't wait to see the action. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. And I'm out.
All right, man. Obviously, we'll be back later on with some boxing. Because we got the big fight on today. I told you guys as promised that I will, for big fights, I will fire this thing up. So what we're gonna do is, Josh, what network is Josh Taylor fighting on, Phil? Anybody got that in the chat, man? What they fighting on? I haven't sat and looked at that stuff.
Josh Taylor is, I believe, an ESPN fighter.
Okay, I hope it ain't on ESPN Plus. It should be on regular ESPN, correct? I'm gonna go ahead and set that up. Oh, Top Rank. So what network though? I know not what promotional company, Back Truth and ESPN. Yes. All right. So listen, guys. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. Hey, John Kramer, thank you. You got in there, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Also, I can come back live if you guys want to. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but if I get enough, if you want me to come on live after the fight and you gonna be in the building, or if you gonna be in the streets now, be in the streets. You know, I ain't finna just go live and y'all all in the streets and I'm just a square ass guy on in here just doing the internet thing. No, if you guys are gonna be available after the Josh Taylor fight and the Tio Lopez fight, then I will come live. If you want me to come live and you think you gonna return, press a 1. If you want me to go live and you go return, press 1. They the same. Don't tell me to come live and you gonna be out there having a good time while my ass on the internet. So if you want me to come live again after the results of the fight, I will. We will do that. All right. Or I'll just float around and let other people do it, and I'll just pop up when I pop up. Phil, will you be available after that, or you gonna be moving around?
No, I'll be available this evening, man. To do the wrap up, the conclusion of the fight. And I just want to put this thing out here, man. You know, on my channel, right? We do all things sports, and all things can be wagered. Just because on my channel, I do all kind of wagering. I give out money for brackets. I do pick'ems for football, and as Zone can contest, I just did a bracket. I cashed those guys out the very next day. So if you guys, the slightest thing, if you want to do any kind of wagering, you can come to my channel, the Fix Sports TV. Okay, and that's how we're doing it over there. And I'm also going to be doing on my live shows, I'm going to be doing pop quizzes for the people in the chat, handing out prizes, cash prizes for that as well, just to be engaged and let you guys know that I appreciate you. And the good thing about it is it's not going to just be about boxing. It's going to be about all sports. So it'll give everybody a chance to win cash prizes. Just wanted to put that out there. And even if you want to place a wager on tonight's events, you can come to my channel, the Fix Sports TV. And that's how we're doing it over there. Just putting it out there in the wind.
All right. We just go ahead and we're gonna keep cooking. I will come back. There's enough interest in it for me to go live with the fellas. Hopefully we can get some of the round table guys on here. I'm going to wait for Blood. He went and got the old man coffee thing. I already had my hot chocolate. That's just a down south thing that we like to do. I like to go to Quick Trip. We'll ask Blood all about his coffee adventures when he get back and get his final thoughts on it as well. While we wait for Blood Boxing to return, let me say this to you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys with the Fantasy Football League. Let me explain something to you. I'm not waiting. I'm sending it out, right? I send the invite out. So let me tell you who's on here so far, and we'll get to that. I'm just burning some time till Blood come back. I will come back on later on tonight, and we will cook on it in the open format style, round table style, on what T.O. did or didn't do, or Josh Taylor did or didn't do. We'll cook on that. So far in the league, we have myself, obviously. We have Champ Ross that is in the league. We got 513 Boxing that is in the league. We have Ryan Clark that is in the league. We have Big Zach Hill that is in the league. And we have International T that joined today. And we have Antonio, MMA Antonio. He said he's Team Reaper. I got you, Antonio. And I got a few more invites sent out. First come, first serve. That's basically looking at 1, 2, 3 invites that are still out. And then I have 2 additional spots that are open. And I just contacted and reached out to a couple of people. So we'll find out who is who and who did what. So it's showing me that a few people have joined. I got my boy Tyler. That's International T. I see that's his name in there. So he's joined today. And I got 3 more. Phil Walker's supposed to be joining. He's one of the guys.
Well, yeah, you know I gotta be in it, man. I'm co-founder of the YouTube Fantasy Football League, so I gotta participate in it for sure.
All right, them sides are filling up. Let me see. I got to see who that was. I'm trying to make sure I get who International T was. Let me see. I sent it out to my boy Chris Tyler, and I think Tyler, that's Tyler though. You know Tyler get down on the fantasy, so that's my partner. He gonna be jumping on here, talking some sports. Okay, International T. Let me look at it. Let me confirm this.
Yeah, Tyler, man. Yeah, I'm interested in engaging with Tyler again. You
Yeah,
know,
he
um,
gonna
we,
basketball.
yeah, yeah. So just to give you guys a little heads up, man, me, Zone, Tyler, we've all participated in a fantasy league that Zone put together. That was what, 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago.
Uh-huh.
Man, I tell you, it was fun, man. It was engaging. Everybody had a wonderful time. Just to give you guys a heads up, if you don't know how the money distribution works, the app Yahoo holds the money. We don't see any other money. And at the end of the tournament, the Yahoo app distributes the money first, second, and third place, and we don't touch it. So you guys don't have to have any fears about anybody stealing from you or getting your information or anything like that. It's all done through a third party that we have no say so over. So just to give you guys a sense of security in that regards.
All right. So here's what we got, right? Here's the slots. I'm not gonna roll over because these are people information. I don't know if they want to have it. That's me, so it don't matter. But these are the slots, and we got 3 more slots that are probably gonna be filled up. 1, 2, 3. And then I've reached out to additional guys. So every time a slot fills up, to keep it flowing, I will reach out to other people. Now, Fistima said that she would like to join. So Fistima, if you're out there and you hear the sound of my voice, then you have a spot, but you got to drop that email. So I'm waiting on 3 others to accept the invite, and then we'll have a full league from there. We will be good. So we in the game. We in the game, just to let you guys know. So slots are not that available. They're going fast. And I sent out a link to some of the guys, and they're going to, accept the invites. And once the slots are filled, the slots are filled. It is 12-man full PPR, standard roster, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, a flex, a team kicker, and a team defense or special teams. No IDP players, no half punt PPR, no standard. It is snake draft, not redraft. It is not keepers. It is none of that. No bonuses, no extra stuff. You're going to get your person, and that's how it works. You draft, we'll randomize the order. I will put that out as soon as I get to that point. But until then, we're still filling up the league. It is snake. It is a redraft, snake draft. Okay. Quarterback, the only difference is we don't do 4 points for touchdowns. That doesn't give any value to the quarterback. It's going to be 6 points, and for the quarterback, you get -2 for the pick. That will make it a 4, and you're going to get 1 point for every 20 yards as opposed to 25. The quarterback shouldn't be around here getting 18 points, and we know a lot of guys like to draft quarterbacks 9th, 10th, and 13th. Nah, we're going to get that quarterback some value, so you don't try to do the whole 3-headed monster running back thing. Nah, now you got to make some real goddamn decisions. Your ass going to either get goddamn Josh Allen, or you're going to get that running back in the 4th. You're going to get Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd, or you're going to get that goddamn running back in the 3rd. So, yeah, we're going to balance it all the way out. So that's pretty much the only difference. Other than that, it should be good and concise. And I'll go over that in great detail as we get closer to the league filling up.
Yeah, man, blood has slid to that Starbucks, man, putting that poison in his body. We all know that ain't real coffee over there.
Yeah, Blood got to have that coffee with his meds. He had his meds in the morning. I hope you out there drinking water.
I ain't seen one coffee grind a bean in Starbucks since I've been going for the last 10 years.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see that. So yeah, tonight, man, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna cook, we're gonna save the information for the result of the fight. We're gonna have a good time, we're gonna cook live in HD. Those are the fantasy football announcements. I'm sure those slots will be getting filled up throughout the day, over the weekend. Other than that, man, it was a good, clean, concise debate. Let me reiterate the process again. That way you guys kind of come in here and have a clear understanding. I won't give you my review ever, because I don't want it ever to be a scenario or situation where you guys know what you think I think. As the moderator or the host, I recuse myself from that. I will always do that. And then I think that is fair, and I think that is just. So my opinion on the debate relies within the judge's hand, but I am here to render justice in case I see a judge kind of going way too far to the left and it starts to look obvious. We're going to keep that in pocket and make sure we identify that on the spot so no one else get a chance to identify that, and we'll course correct from there. At the end of the day, I'm going to be the guy that give out the cash anyway. And then when I say cash, I mean cash prize. So I want to keep the integrity completely legitimate. As far as the judges, I think Bruce Gas did an awesome job. I think Bruce Gas is highly requested for a reason. Bruce Gas asked very, very good, thought-provoking educational questions. I think Blood Boxing did the same thing. Blood Boxing tends to have to get momentum. Sometimes I don't know why, but the more and more he do these, the more and more he'll probably be familiar with the process, and he'll be able to go from there. But for the most part, Blood was able to get his momentum and then put together some good, reasonable questions for the debate. I think that was awesome. Cam did good with the debate, but you got to remember this: when you're a judge, you got to keep your previous experience with debates and previous experience with information out of the equation, because what you guys don't know, when you're recording and when you do that, it starts to leak out. Whether you believe it does or not, it starts to leak out, and on air it be real obvious. So it should be a situation or a scenario in which you guys make sure you sharpen your tools, keep yourself out of it, listen to the information. And I would even suggest going to listening to another or a few debates on YouTube that has nothing to do with boxing. That way you can process it with unbiasedness, right? That's what I would suggest if you're interested in being a judge. Puro, shout out to Puro. Puro, you are a judge, you in the pile, but people got to request you guys. If you want to be a judge and you feel like you have discernment in that eye, then please let everybody know that you're interested in being a judge. We don't have to have just all people debating, right? You don't just need everybody to be a debater. We need guys who got sound logic and they have a compassion and empathy for both sides. Everybody don't have to be a killer to come in here and get the cash prize and stuff like that. And what I'm gonna do, if we keep getting it, when we get the rhythm in, I'm going to start taking care of the judges. The judges are volunteering for me right now because of the request of the panel. I get it. We don't have to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to do something to take care of everybody that's a part of the panel. I believe that if you want to be somebody's friend, let's make a play together. That's how you show somebody you really your friend. It's not about buying anything or purchasing everything or sunning somebody. It's about making a good play together that results in net a result, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about to me. That's how I politic and handle business and play the game, right? So I'm going to make it worth you guys' time. The two combatants, you guys, it's a winner take all. So somebody's going to come away as a loser. That just is what it is. It's empower you to get better. You always got to have somebody to embody the prize, embody the power, and another person to crave it. That's the rule of two. Shout out to Jay Cotto. Also, in addition to that, the judges, I'm going to give you guys something. I'm going to start getting that together and get the math right on that, and then I'm going to see what it is. It's 3 judges, so I'm going to go from there, and I'm going to see what it is and what it's about. I also like the addition of a person to represent just as a chat. You know, even if the chat don't ask questions, I would like to have like Phil Walker in that role. I would like to have Jay Cotto in that role. And not to suggest that they can't be judges as well, but I want them to rotate into the role of not necessarily being a judge, but asking thought-provoking questions on behalf of the chat and offer a retort for that. So you guys have the closing format. That is all I have for you guys. It was quick and concise. The debate only lasted about an hour and 45. As you see, that wasn't that long. It gave us individual time to highlight and spotlight the 2 debaters as well as the judges. It was a beautiful thing. It was a fire debate. And the debates are going to get a little bit more intense, a little bit more radical, a little bit more enthusiastic because people know what to expect. Also, when you come up here, man, I know Blood and I know Bruce Gas, you know, they could be a little intimidating, but just be careful. You know, don't be so intimidated. Come in firing on all cylinders and trust the process. Trust me, and we're going to make sure it's happening. there's only one true debate champion. There's only one true debate style, and that is here with the YouTube sports community. Just don't affiliate us with anybody else and what they're doing. We have nothing to do with that. If it's in opposition, it's just in opposition. We don't want to be. We're not trying to be. We just want to talk sports. We're going to also open up the debates to other subjects, football, LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And I may go get another belt. And I may break the 3 belts down. You know, I may just do the 3 for show and tell for boxing. But I might, after we crown an undisputed, I may break one down for basketball, one for football, and one for boxing. You know what I'm saying? And then if we get enough participation in other sports that allows for debates, then I'll create a belt from there. You know what I'm saying? There's be one sole belt, undisputed, no need for unifications. It's just right now boxing has the debates. That's the hot topic. So all 3 of the belts will be on the line for Get This Smoke. But once he becomes undisputed, if he becomes undisputed, or once BVO becomes undisputed, once he becomes undisputed, if he becomes undisputed, either of the 2, I will probably just make it that and create a ranking system. The winner of BVO and Get This Smoke will be crowned as the undisputed champion. The number 1 ranked contender will be it will be KUSH. KUSH will be number 1 contender. If he wants to challenge for the belt, he could do that. And the number 2 guy is going to be Black Truth. And then the loser of Get This Smoke and BVO will go down to number 3. And I'm doing it that way in order of sequence. Okay. These guys jumped in and had their debate earlier. And they're going to be number 1 contender. And the winner is the number 1 contender. And then the guy who lost, which is Black Truth, he's going to be the number 2 ranked guy. And then the winner of the undisputed match between Get This Smoke and BVO will move to the champion. And the other guy will move down to number 3. And then I'll keep the rankings that way. And whoever else want to get in, I'll move you up in the rankings. I mean, somebody could challenge. Somebody could come in and be rated and challenge. You could challenge your guy, KUSH, or whoever it is you want to, man. That's up to you guys. We're gonna go ahead and get some of this music off in here so we can burn some time until Blood get himself back. Keep it kind of funky in here. Let me see. Anybody else? While we here, I'm gonna ask you guys: do you guys got any other statements about the debate? Anybody want to join and give their last thoughts that didn't get to? Okay, and there he go. Blood boxing right on time. So Blood, everybody pretty much cleared the flow. We gave all the announcements. We know you had to take your meds and get your coffee. You know, we was talking trash about you while you was gone.
I heard you. I heard y'all was on there, man. Y'all talking about old men and all kind of stuff, man. It's all good though, baby. Hey man, I got plenty of Viagra, man. I got all that.
Not that gas station Viagra. man, I don't want you to have no heart attack, man. One time you was live, man. I thought you had passed out, man. I said, hey man, call Blood, man. I was trying to scramble around, man. I thought I was gonna have to ride down to Gainesville, man.
Oh man, come on, bro. You know Blood ain't never gonna pass out, man. You know I do this, man. Hey, I could talk all day, man. I talk circles around all y'all, man. What you talking about?
Oh man,
you Georgia mutt.
Oh man, there you go. All right, old man. Listen, so take us home, man, and tell us what the OG think. We're gonna keep this format going, and just remember that if they call me and they say they want Blood, I just gotta respond. So what do you think, man? That's the OG. How do you see it? Take us home.
Hey man, I really enjoyed the debate. The debate was like razor sharp, though. It was razor thin. I mean, it was between, it was Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. It's getting to be an old subject, but now the fight is signed, so people are going to start debating it now. Now the debates are meaningful because these guys actually have a date. We all know they're going to fight on the 29th, man. I thought that Truth won the debate. He made the better points, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong now, KUSH, that's my boy. I've known him for several years now, and I've heard KUSH before. KUSH is better at arguing, kind of like, you know, he's one of those kind of guys who could get on here and roast you type of thing. So he was not really in his element. But, you know, he showed us that he could, you know, he got a little bit of wrinkles in his game and he could level it down a little bit and stuff like that. But, you know, to get the real KUSH, he's going to have to come out, man. He's going to have to come out and really be a monster like he's known to be. So hopefully in the next round, KUSH, you go back to being who you is. We ain't sensitive over here now. We're not going to talk about people's family and do none of that. But if you're going to get a little vicious in there, I think this is the right place to do it. Because Zone 6 is not a real sensitive guy, neither am I. And I know Bruce Gas and them guys, they're not sensitive either. So you come in here, you could be who you got to be and do your thing. But, you know, he came out with the victory and truth. He made his statement too. Man, it was a really good debate. Hey, you know what? I want to ask you about something, though.
Yes, sir.
This debate here, it was really good, but you had promised another debate that you kind of just went over, and it's the one between Jay Cotto and Tony's Review. It was, I think it had to do with Bruce Lee or some shit like that.
Yeah, but Tony, man, he got some issues with his laptop, and he's had a bad experience. I guess he was on the show and he explained it to us, man. He said he was in the other tournament, and from his opinion, his perspective, someone hacked his computer or did something. We'll get him up here one day and explain it. And I think he just is kind of like, you know, just want some separation for a minute, man, to be quite honest with you. I think he just didn't have a good experience with the previous debate that he was in. So we're just going to let the man live. Because right now, BVO and Get This Smoke is on for the next one. And that's going to be for Undisputed. And I'm going to bring your rankings out. If whoever wins between BVO and GTS, that's going to be the Undisputed champion. And the number one ranked guy is going to be KUSH. And then number 2 would be Truth, and number 3 would be the loser of the GTS Get the Smoke. And I'm gonna keep a top 10 list with all the rankings in it. I'm gonna create a spreadsheet and everything. So I'm gonna keep your record, and we're gonna move it up like that.
I'll tell you what, I got some UK contacts, and I'm gonna try to get some of them guys involved in it too. You got Brian Harkin out there in Ireland. I'd like to hear some of these guys from overseas get involved in the debates, man. You know, this ain't a strictly American thing. This is global, man. Boxing's a global sport. I know that you guys are going to be doing the football debate, which Fistiana is going to win. Stop calling her Fistina, too. She going to get on your ass about the Fistina shit. Fistiana, okay? I'll just let you know. She going to get on you when you finally do talk to her, she going to get on you about that. I already know that. But.
Okay. Well, she need to get on and send me that email and not talk me to death, because these slots are filling up quick.
She already told me she's going to come in there and embarrass y'all and show y'all don't know about football, bro.
Oh, man. We'll see. Yeah.
I'm letting you know how it go down to the Georgia girl, the Georgia Peach. I have her winning the football, everything on the football thing. I got the Georgia Peach winning that hands down. You know what I'm saying? Georgia Peach. She gonna put all you guys, Phil Walker, because Phil Walker was talking smack too about my Starbucks coffee and all that stuff. I heard him, but that's all right. When Fistiana get on y'all ass, though, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna enjoy it. Watch you put y'all in y'all place in that football shit, right? For a woman to come in and beat y'all is gonna be classic.
You know what? Hold on now. Hold on now. It's another woman in there. This the champ. No, we already got beat by Phil Walker's sister.
Okay. Well, y'all are used to getting beat by women. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, man.
You know, something y'all are used to. So I didn't know y'all.
Yeah, Nico. Phil Walker's sister beat us, man. And it was her. It was Phil's sister and my brother in the finals. And you know, they talked so much shit to me and Phil, man. We couldn't hear. Oh my God. Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah, they finally just.
Is she gonna be in it? Is she gonna be in it again?
Who that is?
Phil's sister.
Yeah, I think so, but they better hurry up. I mean, the slots are closing. I mean, the YouTubers are jumping on it, you know. So I sent the emails out. It's first come, first serve. I mean,
so you got to be Yahoo though, right?
Yep, Yahoo. Hey, there go Tony Reviews right there. So
Tiana is signing up for a Yahoo account. She told me about it. She's gonna come in. She's gonna smoke you guys. The only competition she has is Phil's sister, really, to be honest. because I don't really think that you guys know much about what you're talking about. But I'm gonna be going with Fistiana, Phil's sister, to win that. If Lisa Bales was to enter into anything, y'all would be in trouble there too, because Lisa Bales would smoke y'all too. And I'm just letting you know that. Shout out to Tony's review too, man. If you're still gonna do that debate with Jay Cotto, the Bruce Lee thing, I would love to hear that shit, bro.
All right. Money, what you got, man? We finna close down. Send us on home, Big Zoe. Zoe, Money, what you got?
What's up, good people, man? Hey, I like this. Who y'all liking the Taylor fight tonight, man?
I got Josh Taylor. Taylor all the way.
Yeah, I got Josh Taylor, man. And we're gonna do one big after the fight. We're gonna do a post-fight review and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I heard that part. Yeah. Definitely, I'll be around for that. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like on the underdog on this one, bro. I think Tio's gonna shock the world, man.
So
what? Really you the first person I heard say that, though.
I know that. I'm always the guy who go against the odds, bro. Always.
I see you got a better connection today. Where you at, Macon or some shit? Hey, Howard, Georgia, or some shit like that?
No, I got I'm on my phone, so sometimes my connection be acting retarded. You know what I mean? But I know for sure, man. I got Tio and a possible stoppage.
Oh, that's a good one.
That, though, what you giving him the chance because he has superior hand speed? Because I think he does have. I think he's got quicker hands. I do.
I agree with that, and I think the reason I'm saying that because of the simple fact that Taylor, when he think he got his opponents, when he think he pretty much got his opponents in the bag, like he done adapted to their style, I think that he rushes in too much, and I think that's gonna be a big flaw for him. I could see him like I could see Tio really, adapting to him and seeing what he do, because Tio is like a straight up and down fighter, but he moves side to side pretty well. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, I think that I got Taylor, winning the fight to up about the 5th round, and I got Tio sitting down and putting something on him and maybe possibly hurting him to the body or to the head.
Man, I tell you what, Big Zoe, man. Big Zoe, you can have some serious bragging rights because you're the first YouTuber that I heard give Tio the chance to win this fight, or who's actually predicting that Tio gonna win the fight. And
I know,
you have
man.
some big bragging rights tonight. You
I know.
I
know, Brad. I don't see why nobody not giving Tio the respect he deserved, because Lomachenko, man, was a tough, stiff test for him, bro. Even though I felt like, Lomachenko was dealing with the injuries and also, he had other things going on in that fight. But I really think for him to get past Lomachenko, that was really big, bro. And he did it before pretty much really anybody else did it. We ain't counting the Orlando Salido fight. That was way back when. But, as far as the time that Lomachenko was fighting, like he was at the top of the game at 135. You know what I mean? And I honestly didn't think Tio could beat him. I thought it would be a good test, but I didn't think he could beat him. And when he beat him, that really opened it up. That's why I couldn't understand how he lost to Kambosos. Like that just, I don't know what he was on when he went in that fight. You know what I mean? But I feel like he really focused this time against Taylor, because Taylor looking at Tio. I feel like Taylor looking at Tio like I'm gonna walk through him. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be his mistake. You know what I mean? Because Tio can punch. He got some punching power. I call him, he a boxer puncher to me. You know what I mean? I think people better wake up and not sleep on Tio, because if Tio catch him with one of them nice left hooks and that right uppercut, man, it might be night for Taylor, man. I'm telling you. That boy can punch.
Listen. Okay, so cool. We're going to cook on that tonight. They say they want me to come back. So listen, man, I've been on here since 11. I got to go ahead and get some lunch and kick it with the family, for a little bit before we get on this again. So what you got? Close us out, Big Joe, man, because I'm going to see you again tonight. And close us out, blood, and then we'll go ahead and swing this thing around to everybody one good time.
Okay, Oh, you got Brian Harkin on here. This is the guy I was telling you about, Zone.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm gonna close it. He gonna send us home. I looked at his content. Let me get Zoe Money on, say his last words, then you, and then Harkin gonna have the show. We're gonna let him close us out strong. Go ahead, Big Zoe Money. What you got?
Oh no, that was my closing statement. You know, I just want to talk a little bit about Tio and Lopez. So I'm done. I'm out of there.
All right, tonight, man, we're gonna revisit that. Blood, go ahead. Your last final thoughts on the debate or anything, Tio, whatever you want to say, and then we'll be back on tonight.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to all you bring on the show. You and Phil's show. Even though I don't watch football no more, man. Like I used to. I stopped watching it in around 2010 or something like that. But you know, maybe I could get back into it, man. With you guys doing the football league, and maybe y'all could bring me back to football and to the NBA, because it's been a long time since I stopped watching the NBA in 2007. So, and I was die hard too. I'm telling you, I knew every roster back in the 90s and early 2000s, but that was then. This is now. So I'm gonna get back into it, and then maybe I could join up in some of the panels and stuff that you got down in the future when I get my knowledge back up, man. But that's what you do, man. When you have an all sports show and you have people you're interested in listening to, it could bring you back. And shout out to my boy Brian Harkin. This is my favorite guy from Ireland right here, Zone, man.
Oh, what up, Blood?
He was a fighter too, Zone. He was a fighter too, so got some respect for him. A guy who sparred several hundreds of rounds now. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna be on off of here, and I'm gonna let you and Brian close out. I'm listening, man. Peace out.
Okay. Hey man, Brian, welcome to the show, man. I've been looking at your content before Blood even spoke on you. I like what you do. I'm gonna be tuning into your stuff, man. This is a family-friendly show over here. We talk all sports too, man. Yeah. So go ahead and take us on with your final thoughts and your introduction to who you be, man. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, my name is Brian Harkin. For anyone who doesn't know me, the great debate. I was listening in, and I tried to get on earlier, and I didn't realize it was a debate until somebody, and then I popped out. So, that I just thought it was an open panel. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that debate. But Taylor and Thing tonight, that's an interesting fight, right? For me, Teofimo has not looked great since he fought Loma, right? He's gone off the ball a little bit. I fought against a Campo. He looked bad, he looked terrible, right? That should have been a coming out party at 140 pounds. It hasn't happened for him, right? And Josh Taylor didn't look great against Jack Catterall, right? But I rate Jack Catterall higher than anybody Things fought at 140 pounds so far. Even Sandor Martin, who's a difficult fight for anyone, because you know what style Sandor Martin's going to bring, right? He's going to be on the back foot, counter punching. And prior to the fight, they said this is the guy we wanted to fight because, of the cancellation. This was the guy we wanted to fight, but they weren't prepared at all for his style. They didn't know how to cut off the ring. So the ability, but this is an interesting fight. Yes, Teal does have quicker hands. I just think of it as Josh has more tools in the box, right? He can get dirty. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. For me, Teofimo is a great mid-range counterpuncher. That's where he gets a lot of his shots off. That's where he gets a lot of his power. And if you can cut the range, or if you can keep it long range, he doesn't look great. And for me, Teal's got a good jab, but his jab is not. He doesn't have an elite jab, right? He doesn't have anything that would frighten me. But he does have quick hands. He does have power. But I haven't seen it at 140 yet. So is this coming out party tonight? Or is this going to be a win from Josh Taylor and people are going to downplay it? For me, I think Josh Taylor's on a lose-lose situation. If he wins tonight, people are going to downplay, well, Teofimo's not a great 140-pounder, blah, 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 usual bullshit, right? If Teofimo wins tonight, Josh Taylor is struggling to make weight, right? He's, he should have moved up to 147 a while back, right? So this, I'm going to give credit to whoever wins. And the thing about it, you got to be honest, about everything, right? So that's what I try to be. And I always say, in my opinion. And that's because it's my opinion. right? It's not facts, things I say, right? Unless it previously happened, but I'm talking about the future. It's my opinion. You know what I mean? So I'm picking Josh Taylor to win, but it should be a good fight, and I'm looking forward to it. And that's going to be on here at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, you know what I mean? Like, so, but thank you, Zone 6. I enjoyed the debate, you know, and keep this platform going, because I enjoy debates like this. It was very respectful. Both guys got off great points, and that's all you can do, right? Have a good one, Zone 6. Have a good one, guys. I know you're trying to get out of here. Peace, guys. Peace.
All right, man. Appreciate that for stopping by, man. I can't wait till he start getting on the panel, man. It's gonna be awesome. But we're returning tonight though, because everybody said they want to do it. Let me go out here and get some lunch for the family, get them some ice cream, and get them in a comfortable spot so I can come play with you guys a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? And we can have a good time talking about boxing. All right, man. Y'all have a good day. Be safe, man. Enjoy your families, man. You know what I'm saying? Get off this, relax a little bit, and go have a good time, man, because I'm about to, man. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Appreciate the debaters, the judges, and the entire chat, man. Appreciate y'all, man. We out of here. We're going to go ahead and boost this music up, and we're going to go ahead and crank this thing up. Appreciate that, Rollo, for this. We still here. We just riding it on out. We just riding it on out. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Overtime. This is like the credits rolling up, and then my boy Tony coming here. I gotta give him a chance. I gotta give my boy a chance. What's up, Tony? What's going on, man? We rolling the credits in, and he hit us with the Thanos. When you want shit done, you gotta do it yourself. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. You got the flow. Tony, you got the flow, Tony. All right, Tony. I'm finna get you. All right, Tony. You sure? Okay, Tony was finna jump in. I thought he was gonna say something. Tony, we finna shut it down. I gave him a shot, y'all, because that's my boy. But let's finish rocking on now. Okay. That was the closing credits. We out of here.
One, two, three.
All right. We're gonna let Tony one more time. There he go. He's doing the Thanos thing. He's doing the rolling. The movie going off, and here comes him with the behind the scenes type thing, the extra credit roll. Go ahead, Tony. Take us home. What you got, man? Before we get out of here.
Which fight were y'all talking about?
Man, we talking about T.O. and Josh Taylor. Look, we gonna be back tonight to talk about that, man. I don't want to step on these people debate and make it more longer than what it gotta be. We're gonna cook tonight. I'm gonna be live in HD tonight after the fight, big dog.
Yeah, so I won my debate with Jay Cotto. Outside of that, I just don't see how T.O. can win. Like, there's no way. Like, he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the chin. He doesn't have the stamina. And if anything, T.O., he had to strip down just to make weight. Like, he didn't even try to leave his clothes on. He knew he was too heavy. So Taylor came in looking like he made weight easily. So, I don't see the weight issues that people talk about with Taylor. If anything, T.O. had weight issues coming in. That's why he stripped down for the first weigh-in off the bat. And yeah, like T.O. does not have what it takes to stop Taylor, which is being mobile like Catterall. We saw it twice where Taylor struggled. He did it against Postile, but Postile moved away, and we saw it against Catterall when he moved away. T.O. stands right there mid-range and doesn't really move. He just wants to be mid-range, and that's going to play right into Taylor's strengths. And if Prograde couldn't get Taylor out of there, there's no fucking way that T.O. is going to be able to do it. I see T.O. getting beat to the body, and he's going to fold 7th, 8th round Josh Taylor by knockout. That's how I see it.
Woo, that's a hot prediction and a hot call out. I can't step on that, Tony. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to close on that. All right, Tony, man, tell them where they can find you at, Georgia boy, where they can find you at.
You already know, find me at Tony's Reviews. I don't like to do it, but fuck it, let's bring people over there. Tony's Reviews on YouTube, that's T-O-N-E-Y.
Yes, sir. That's my boy Tony. He gave us the ending credits. I like that. I feel good. That was on point. This was fire. All right, y'all. So let's get out of here for real this time.
Theo with E6 Boxing.